presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
We welcome you to our Art of Hitting night on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Two of the great hitters of all time that grace Milwaukee, Hammerin' Hank Aaron and the kid Robin Yount. We're set for game two. It's the Rockies and the Milwaukee Brewers. And hi, everybody. We welcome you. We're down on the field here tonight getting ready for our Art of Hitting night. We put a bat in Rock's hand. We don't want him to break stuff up in the booth. So here we are on the field. Rock, this is going to be an interesting night. You get to break down some hitters, and we're going to talk about the art of hitting this evening.
Yeah, both of these teams have some tremendous hitters. We're going to get into some of the specifics of what they do well. The Brewers have three guys that all a little bit different. You got VR, the switch hitter, Ryan Braun, a really good all-around hitter, and Chris Carter, the big home run hitter. They all put themselves in the same position, results a little bit different. And on the other side of the field, you got the Colorado Rockies. Same situation, Blackman, Gonzalez, Arenado, and all three of these guys, they put themselves in the same hitting spot. But again, the results are a little bit different. It's going to be a lot of fun watching these guys. Carlos Gonzalez, Arenado. You don't see these guys too often. It's going to be fun to watch breaking these guys down.
It's always fascinating to get into what makes these guys great. And you have some fundamentals for everybody out there. We're going to dive in a little deeper as we go through our broadcast tonight. But you have some basic fundamentals for hitting to start with.
Now, you got to work with me here. Don't do as I did, do as I say here. But, you know, to talk about the art of hitting, it's not simplistic, but let's try it for a little bit. Right. You know, the first most important thing, I think, or one of the most important things is your load. The batting stance, you can go anywhere you want. The load before you get into position to hit, very important. The other thing, the pitch, and that's important. The head in a certain position. We'll talk about that today. And the hands. Throw the hands at the baseball. You don't actually swing the bat. You throw the hands at the baseball. You get yourself in a good position, get a good pitch, and throw the hands at the baseball. There's a lot of other things we're going to talk about, but those are the three things, I think, if you're talking to little leaguers, those are the things you want to start talking about.
Is it ironic that you've selected a pitcher's bat? That's Willie Peralta's bat.
Yeah, Willie Peralta and I, all or nothing. So there you go. I'm real comfortable with this
Willie
bat.
Peralta's got a home run in the big leagues. All right, we're going to have some fun tonight. The Rockies and the Brewers, we're set up for game two. Telly Hughes is with us as well. And when we come back, we'll talk Chase Anderson. He's on the mound. He's going to try to keep all these bats quiet tonight. Chase against the Rockies. Game two of this three-game series coming your way next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Crowd filing in on a Tuesday night at Miller Park. The rookie John Gray, former first rounder, on the mound for the Rockies against Chase Anderson. Coming back from an injury, he was hit by a line drive his last start. He's back on the mound at Miller Park here tonight. Start number 24. Art of Hitting night on Fox Sports Wisconsin. We're going to break down some of the best hitters in the game. Guys like Cargo and Arenado, the league's home run leader. Chris Carter's right on his heels. And Ryan Braun, a former MVP. First pitch coming your way next.
Art of hitting, the part of baseball where the game's elite only succeed 3 out of 10 times. An art form that requires hard work, repetition, adjustments, and most of all, patience. And with all the work, great rewards can follow.
Braun sends one way back, and there she goes! A booming home run by Ryan Braun.
The history of hitting runs deep here in Milwaukee, with Hall of Famers known for hammering.
Aaron, long fly ball. That one is gone. Home run. Henry Aaron.
For hitting streaks.
39 in a row. How about that? And the place goes crazy.
And for milestones.
Swings and there it is. He's got it. 3,000 for Robin.
Tonight, we give you an in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the art of hitting in a game that features some of the best in the business.
And so glad you could be with us tonight. Ryan Braun, one of the greatest hitters to have graced this field at Miller Park, on his way out, and the Brewers ready for the Colorado Rockies tonight. Tonight's broadcast is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And the roof is open. It's a beautiful night for baseball. And as much as we look at the art of hitting tonight, Rock, the pitchers, we won't forget about you. Chase Anderson gets the start tonight.
Yeah, Chase making start number 24, 25th appearance. He did work out of the bullpen on Friday night in Seattle. 2 innings, gave up a couple of runs. A very short start last time against the Cubs. 2/3 of an inning, had to leave after being hit with a line drive.
Charlie Blackmon back in the starting lineup for the Rockies, and the first pitch of the ball game is away from ball one, and away we go from Miller Park. Now these two teams were here early, added early. Players started filing in about 1 o'clock, 1:30. The Brewers, interestingly enough, today did not take batting practice on the field. They did have batting practice in the cage, and we'll introduce you to that batting cage. If you saw our bit on the Brewers Live pregame with Craig Cashon, it is a high-tech batting cage now, complete with all kind of video analysis and stadium lighting under the tutelage of Darnell Coles, the hitting coach.
Kind of a home away from home for the players. I mean, these hitters, the hitting coaches, Darnell Coles and Jason Lane spent a lot of time before the game in those hitting cages.
One ball, two strikes on Charlie Blackmon. He's been out with a toe injury. We saw him last night as a pinch hitter and getting his first start, and down he goes. Anderson strikes him out. A perfect beginning to our night when we focus on the hitters. A strikeout. Here's the Rockies lineup. Following Blackmon, you've got David Dahl, the speedy left fielder. Nolan Arenado, the league's leading home run and RBI man. In the middle goes Gonzalez, Rayburn, and Descalso. Nick Hundley, Christian Adames, and John Gray round out the starting nine that will face Anderson. Second of a three-game series with the Rockies. The Brewers won last night. Good ball game for Milwaukee last night. A final of 4-2. And Jimmy Nelson earning the win last night. Chris Carter homered in the game. Neuenhuis had a couple of RBIs as well. And Brewers have now won back-to-back games.
Yeah, good defense, good pitching, and just enough offense. And yeah, really good start by Jimmy Nelson. Once again, the bullpen coming through, throwing up 3 scoreless innings.
Nelson went 6, gave up 2 runs last night, picked up his 7th win. Dahl, who hit leadoff last night in the 2 spot here tonight, very fast. Had a stolen base last night. Rockies are raving about this talent. You talk about a 5-tool player, a player that can do it all on the baseball field. He can hit for average, he can hit for power, he can throw, play defense.
And just needs to be able to do it at the major league level. Off to a terrific start, though. 113 plate appearances, hitting almost 340.
2-2 the count on Dahl. And that one just misses. Nolan Arenado due next.
Kind of an unusual game yesterday for the Rockies. Didn't score a lot, only 2 runs. This is a team that can put up the numbers. They can rack up the runs. Not last night.
Here's the payoff to Dahl, and he slaps one foul. Now you look at all these hitters as they come up each and every night in the major leagues, and you see all kind of different hitting styles, all kind of variations on stances, left and right, close to the plate, away from the plate. That's part of our focus here tonight. We'll start to dive in with Rock and break down what makes these hitters so good at what they do. And if you've arrived here at the major league level, no matter what the numbers say on the big scoreboard, you've done something special, spectacular to make it this far.
Yeah, there is a way to be. There's a position to be in when you're getting ready to swing that bat. Every hitter is going to be different getting there, but they all end up in that good position to be ready to swing. Good balance.
There's a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Chase Anderson. He got Dahl on the changeup.
And it's the pitcher's job. His job is to disrupt the timing and disrupt that comfort level up there at the plate. And Chase just did it with a changeup. Let's check out the Menards Brewers defense for tonight. You got Braun, Broxton, and Neuenhuis. Broxton continues to get a lot of playing time out in center field. Perez at third. You got Villar. He moves over to shortstop. Arcia gets tonight off. Jeanette Carter on the right. And Maldonado once again behind home plate.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Nolan Arenado. 32 home runs, 104 runs batted in. He's hitting .283 as well. Arenado is the National League's home run leader. He is plus 14 for the RBI lead in the National League. He's having a huge year. with the Colorado Rockies. And as far as hitters that you want to dive into as far as mechanics, this is the one guy that you look at, Rock. Not only is he a great hitter, he's won 3 Gold Gloves as well, but there's not many that do it like Arenado.
Yeah, just some really quick hands for Arenado. Doesn't swing the bat. He throws the barrel of the bat at the baseball, and that's all the hands. You see, he starts with his hands up a little bit. He gets in that good ready position. You kind of roll that front shoulder in to get yourself in position. And you balance yourself on that back foot, and then you go. He does it well.
Now you think about some hitters, guys like, say, Ken Griffey Jr. with that really smooth stroke. Arenado's not like that. He's got a violent swing at the plate. Hits down on the baseball, and he produces so much power with his swing.
That combination of the legs and the upper body, keeping the head still, making sure that both eyes are watching that baseball. Watch the way these guys stand there. Their head, the eyes, both eyes are going to be right on the pitcher. Gives you that good depth perception.
And that one is popped up, foul territory. That'll end up in the seats. Chase Anderson will do everything he can to keep it out of the middle of the plate. You saw that hot zone, and that's true for most hitters, but for a guy like Arenado, a hot zone means home runs often.
You can see the way he lifts that front leg up and both eyes on the baseball and finishes strong. A little bit off balance that time. Maybe the reason why he fouled it off. Keep an eye on the head. Keep an eye on the balance after the swing tonight. Tells you a lot.
3-2 pitch. Beats it into the ground. A shift is on. VR's over there. And Arenado is retired. And a good start for Chase Anderson. Now the Brewers coming up. It'll be VR, Jeanette, and Braun to start it. We're underway in Milwaukee. He's going order in the top of the first. Now the Brewers are coming to bat. There is Craig Counsell, author of over 1,200 hits as a major leaguer across 16 different seasons. And let's take a look at Craig Counsell's Potawatomi batting order tonight. He's got VR back in the leadoff spot. Scooter Gennett, then Ryan Braun. In the middle goes Perez, Carter, and Neuenhuis. Broxton, Maldonado, and Anderson round out the starting 9 that will face the rookie, former first rounder out of Oklahoma. This is John Gray on the mound for Colorado.
Yeah, big guy, hard thrower, 6'4", 235 pounds, 24 years old, and you can see his numbers. 23rd start, the first time that he's going to face Milwaukee. You can see the strikeout numbers for him. 132 punch-outs, 126 and 2/3 innings.
He has not pitched well lately. He's been good for the Rockies this year, but lately he's run into hard times. Over his last 3 games, he's given up 16 earned runs in 12 innings and has not been able to pitch longer than 4 1/3 over his last 3 starts.
And he's been much better at home. He's 5-1 at Coors Field, 3-5 on the road.
Jonathan Villar in the leadoff spot. Switch hitting shortstop tonight. He's been playing third base with the emergence of Arcia. Craig Counsell feeling Arcia needs a day off. Big leagues can be a tough go of it, and Arcia in his first month in the major leagues.
Yeah, mental grind. You can see it start to get to him a little bit last night, showing some frustration.
Villar, a swing and a miss. Big fastball from Gray.
Well, basically, look at a fastball slider from Gray. I mean, he will throw a curve and a changeup, but not too often. So everything coming out of his hand is going to be firm, and not a lot of off-speed stuff.
2-2 pitch, and Villar strikes out. So Gray starts it with a K.
Well, let's check out the Rockies defense brought to you by Menards tonight. You got Dahl, Blackman, and Gonzalez out there in the outfield. Arenado, Ademas. You got Descalso moves from shortstop over to second base. No LeMahieu today. He was a scratch earlier today. Rayburn at first, and Nick Hundley once again behind home plate.
So here's Scooter Gennett now with one away. Scooter's been a big part of our Art of Hitting broadcast. We appreciate all of his efforts, he and VR, but we were able to dive in with Darnell Coles and Scooter Gennett taking us through his routine. Excellent piece in our Brewers Live pregame with Craig Kashawn. Hitters can be very touchy about letting anybody in the routine before an at bat, but it's the same every time. Scooter always draws a fish there, his Christian faith, and so that's a good way to help him start every at bat.
It's been kind of a good luck charm. I mean, he's been swinging the bat well all year, so keep drawing the fish, Scooter.
With a smiley face.
Yeah, that's a big part of the art of hitting, being superstitious. I mean, if something's working for you, you got a bat or maybe a T-shirt that you wear. Guys are very unusual about that. And when they're hitting, they don't like to talk about why they're hitting. They don't want to get into that.
You see, that's why you draw the smiley face from that side on the fish. And then if you make it out, you're coming back the other way and it's a frown.
It's a frown, right.
So you want to go into every at bat with a good attitude, right? Smiley face. And if you're walking back from.
That is good fish analysis.
Well, you know, I've been known before.
Well done.
1-2 pitch, and Gennett fouls it away. Did you have any little triggers, little things that you did before at bats? I mean, some guys don't like to stand in the on deck circle.
Yeah.
Ryan Braun does, but some guys stand outside it. They feel superstitious about that. Did you have anything like that, partner?
Yeah, not really. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. It depends on what was working. If you stood in the on deck circle and got a hit, you did it the next time.
There's a base hit just inside the line. And Gennett on his way to second. Throw comes in late. That'll be a double for Scooter Gennett.
And the fish has a smiley face.
That's right.
It's just a good piece of hitting. Top down for Scooter Gennett. Watch the way he gets on top of this pitch. You know, a fastball that's down in the zone. Check it out. Down and through. Gets on top of that baseball. That's why he's able to line it down the line and left. That's good balance. You can see Scooter with that belt buckle facing the pitcher, clearing the hips, driving the bat through the strike zone, and that's a perfect example of how you go to the opposite field. You don't change your swing, you just wait a little bit longer to commit.
Gennett's done a nice job this year. Nice balanced spray chart for him. All those hits to center field and left field. And so it's a double with one away, and here comes Ryan Braun. Well, you can't have a broadcast on the art of hitting without having Ryan Braun among the elite in that category. This is a guy who just year in, year out does things at the plate you just rarely see major league hitters do, especially right-handed hitters do. And look at that upper corner there, the .429 batting average. This is from the pitcher's perspective now. The fact that he drives the ball so well in that upper quadrant, which would be his outside corner.
Right. We're talking about how well Scooter got on top of that pitch for him away. Ryan Braun does that better than anybody in the big leagues.
A little whirl and a fake to second base.
One thing to watch on Ryan Braun is that front foot. He's going to tap the foot until the baseball, until the pitcher's ready to come to home plate. He lifts it up, and remember, keep in mind, he starts his swing after the foot goes down. You know, that's the balance mechanism. He'll lift it up. He'll set it down before he starts his swing.
A few taps. And that one's inside.
Yep, foot down. A little bit late on that one because I think he's surprised with the velocity. He's never seen this guy before. The guys with high leg kicks, you know, guys that, you know, from Japan, they do a lot of that. But the key is they balance on that back leg. The foot comes down before they start their swing. That's very important when you have a high leg kick.
And an off-speed pitch, able to lay off. Think about Braun. His swing has remained the same all these years. There's even footage of him in high school at Granada Hills in Southern California. And if you took a side shot of that swing back then, it looks just like it does now. Obviously, he's a lot more powerful now, but he still had great power as a high school player. He actually hit one out at Dodger Stadium in a high school game once. And he's starting to find the timing on John Gray here.
Yeah,
that was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, this guy can bring it. I mean, he can surprise you. It might take an at-bat before the Brewers get a real beat on him, but nothing really to keep you off the fastball because the slider he throws pretty hard as well.
Two and two the count on Braun. Got a double in Jeanette. He's at second. And Braun strikes out. Good pitch. Gray with a punch out for out number 2.
Off-speed pitch at 91 miles an hour. Down in the dirt. Hundley doing a good job blocking it. That was a slider. And Ryan Braun chases a pitch out of the zone. See, though, the front foot down before he starts his swing, even on a strikeout.
Now Ryan had that look as if to say, what was that? Hadn't seen that one yet. And as fast as 97 in this first inning, as slow as 79. Here's Hernan Perez. And on the first pitch, a pop-up, foul territory. And it's going to be caught by the second baseman, Descalso. And the inning is over. Brewers get a double out of Jeanette. He's left stranded at second base. We're off and running at Miller Park. No score. One of the significant hitting streaks in Milwaukee Brewers franchise history. Paul Molitor at 39, longest in franchise history. The Hall of Fame member, current skipper of the Minnesota Twins, part of that team streak, Rock, that you were a part of.
Yeah, it was great watching that streak as it unfolded, as it developed. The pressure that was on Paulie as the games continued to pile up. And once it got to about 25, I mean, national media started to really converge a lot, and the pressure started to mount. He did a great job through that stretch.
Here's Carlos Gonzalez. He'll start the second inning, and a wave and a miss. A changeup from Anderson. Terrific power hitter Gonzalez. 23 home runs this year, 80 driven in. He's in the top 10 in both categories.
Kind of wraps that bat a little bit and really keeps it like that, you know, through the swing. A lot of guys will stand up there, have that bat laid down, maybe wrapped around their neck a little bit, but they'll lift it up and get it in a better hitting position. But it works for Gonzalez. See the way he lays that bat down there. He's going to waggle a little bit, but it'll be still. But he still has it wrapped around his head. You have to be very strong and have quick hands to be able to do that.
Think about Ryan Braun, very still at the plate, just that little toe tap. Carlos Gonzalez with a lot of movement, a lot of motion, and a big leg kick. And down he goes. Anderson strikes him out.
Well, he's got a good changeup working. Well, Anderson really coming out of the bullpen strong here today. That's good movement down, little movement going away. See that high leg kick, sets it down and then swings. But a little bit out in front of it.
So Anderson with 3 strikeouts. And here is Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn's in the starting lineup at first base tonight. Been a bit of a revolving door at first base for the Rockies. Last night had Ben Paulson. Rayburn gets a start over there tonight. Rockies are without their top hitter for average, DJ LeMahieu, who is second in the National League in batting. LeMahieu has a little tightness in the wrist. He did that on a Jimmy Nelson fastball yesterday. So Walt Weiss, the Rocky skipper, is without one of his best hitters in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, he was in the original lineup. They changed the lineup at about 4 o'clock today.
.35-year-old Rayburn. A lot of time with the Tigers, a couple of years with the Indians. He lines out in the left. Braun will play it on a bounce. And the first hit for the Rockies, a 1-out single.
And it looked like Anderson tried to come inside on him, but very quick hands for Rayburn. And the one thing to watch here, watch the hands, how close they stay to the body. Doesn't reach out, hands close to the body until contact, where he extends them a little bit. But pops those hips open. Those hips, they start the bat toward the hitting zone. And then the hands take over. That's a good example of it right there. But the timing of all that is so difficult to master. That's what makes hitting so difficult.
Here's Descalso now. Takes a ball. Yeah, there is a distinct difference, and you brought this up yesterday, a distinct difference between the art of the swing, the baseball swing, versus the art of hitting.
Right.
Two very different things.
The art of hitting, there's a lot of mental stuff that goes into that. The vision is involved in that. It's just not the swing. I mean, you can have a groove swing. You can have a great swing, good fundamentally, but if you're not thinking the right way, if you're not seeing the baseball, if you're not still, all those things play into it. There's a lot of things that are involved in being a good hitter.
And then you got a pitcher on the mound who's trying to disrupt all of that for you on purpose.
And confidence might be the biggest. What are you thinking about when you're in the dugout after you've struck out a couple of times? Is it positive or is it negative? And that has a lot of bearing on what happens when you go up the third time.
Two and 0 is the count. Runner at first, and that's a strike. Fastball from Anderson. Descalso started at short yesterday. He's over at second today for LeMahieu. Rockies are without their starting shortstop this year, who was making a serious run at Rookie of the Year, Trevor Story, had a thumb injury that required surgery, and he's gone for the season. So Walt Weiss is piecing together an infield right now.
There's something about Colorado and shortstops. They can't stay healthy, right?
Yeah, Troy Tulowitzki all those years.
Many years of injuries, and now Story.
2 balls and a strike. Anderson looking for the ground ball here, and Descalso takes a ball. 3-1. Story, at the time of his injury, led the National League in homers. Still is the top rookie for home runs and RBIs. What a great year he was having offensively. A good defender at short as well. A big loss for Colorado. Descalso in the air, foul territory. That's going to slice in the seats.
And he did that all in less than 100 games. I mean, incredible. I mean, you saw his ranks amongst rookies. I mean, he was ranked up there with the best in the business, rookie or not, when he got hurt.
One out, man at first. Descalso, one of 4 lefties in the lineup tonight. There's also a switch hitter in there, Christian Adames. There goes the runner, and the pitch is up and in. Throw won't matter. He walked him, so it'll be first and second with 1 out.
A great throw by Maldonado, but it didn't matter. That's the other thing about catching. Don't assume that the ball is going to be called out of the strike zone. You throw it anyway. You never know. Don't assume.
Well, now Chase with 2 on and 1 away, with the catcher Nick Hundley coming up.
We could do a whole show on the art of catching too.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Maybe next year.
I'd like to get an art of pitching broadcast in the works. For,
you know, Augie was
Jerry
talking about
Augustine.
that. He's fired up about it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be an official art of pitching broadcast. You just have him in here talking pitching. Not too many guys that know more about pitching than Augie. I mean, talking about, you know, the fundamentals of pitching and how to set up hitters. But that's a story for another day.
Maldonado is going to give himself a chance to shake that one off a little bit. That foul ball went right off Maldonado. Quick trip to the mound. Usually see home plate umpires sweep off home plate. They'll try to give a catcher a little time to shake it off. Maldonado said, I'm going to the mound. I need a minute. No balls, a strike on Hundley.
Yeah, sometimes those things, you know, glancing blows, and sometimes it gets the padding where it doesn't hurt too much, but sometimes they'll zing you. You feel like you lose all feeling in your arm. It goes away though.
Some concern there by the players as that foul ball went into the seats, and I think somebody was hit in there. Immediately they waved for the medical services to come down. That's always difficult. Brewers did extend the netting this year, but that netting only goes to the dugouts, not on the outfield side of the dugouts. So we'll have a little bit of a delay here as they try to get the fan better situated. All across Major League Baseball there is extended netting, but still line drives do go up into the stands often still. And
well, they didn't have it in Seattle. It was kind of curious. They just had the backstop. They didn't have the extended netting to the dugouts, but they do here at Miller Park. Makes it a little bit safer. You get one like that, it really doesn't matter if you're paying attention or not. I mean, those things that skip off the dugouts.
And so they will resume. Hopefully the fans okay. No balls, 2 strikes on Hundley. And that one's right down the heart. Surprised him with a fastball. A strikeout for Anderson, his 4th already.
Yeah, 3-pitch strikeout. Good location for Anderson. Hundley didn't think it was a strike, but it had plenty of the plate.
So 2 gone, 2 on. And here is Christian Adames, switch hitting shortstop tonight. I was watching Adames on the field before the game during batting practice just throw one missile after another from short to first. Gerardo Parra was at first base taking throws from Adames. I was amazed, not just the velocity of the throws, but every throw was right there, chest high. I mean, he was, sometimes he'd come over the top, sometimes he would put himself in a position to have to throw from 3/4 or sidearm, kind of recreating, rehearsing all the different kind of throws he would have to make. And you could almost hear the ball hissing across the diamond.
It's nice to get down on the field once in a while, you know, down in that area where you can actually see these guys make their throws. And I guess that's why he's in the major leagues, right?
Man, something.
Just a lot of guys that just very talented. And it really is hard to separate yourselves from the pack.
Now the skills are significant, and those that remain as everyday players or emerge as everyday big leaguers, they separate themselves by that margin. And then the ones that go from everyday players to stars, superstars, there's even a wider margin. And that's why you respect a guy like Ryan Braun, who's kept a very high level of production for a long time.
Yeah, that's where the mental part of the game comes in. Guys like Braun have it, and the guys that, you know, go bouncing back and forth, they have the ability, they just don't have, you know, the makeup for the most part to be able to handle the ups and downs. It's a difficult thing. Got to be very strong-willed.
Here's John Gray, the Rockies pitcher. He's up there with the bases loaded. Anderson's going to work out of the windup, and Gray takes a strike. One thing about Ryan Braun I can say, knowing him for the 10 years I've been here, I have never heard him once say anything to the fact that he's struggling, he's not swinging the bat well, he's not seeing it well. And I've asked him over the years about, hey, you know, going through a little tough time at the plate. He goes, up, just one at bat closer to a hot streak.
You know, it's all about the way you present things to yourself. He says, I need to do this better. I need to have, my pitch selection has to be better. It's not like I'm swinging at everything. I don't know what I'm doing up there. It's always something positive. And that's what Darnell Coles and a lot of hitting coaches try and stress. They try and figure out ways to turn a negative, which is an out in the major leagues, into a positive. We talked about that a little bit last night with a little game that he plays.
Now the scoring game he plays with his hitters, that doesn't have as much to do with the actual hits, but the kind of swings, the kind of counts.
At bat, in general at bat.
0-2 pitch to Gray is high for a ball. 1-2 now to the Rockies pitcher. A couple of walks in the inning, 2 strikeouts as well. But Anderson a chance to get out of this second inning with the pitcher at the plate. And he doesn't bite. 2-2 the count. Nice block back there by Maldonado. Gray has 5 hits this year as a hitter, 3 RBIs in his rookie season. And down he goes. Anderson strikes him out. He strikes out the side in the second around a couple of walks and a single. Luca, tell me who your favorite players are. Who, if you're watching the Brewers and you're like, I want to be like this guy, who's that guy, or maybe two guys?
Scooter Gennett and Jonathan VR.
Scooter Gennett and Jonathan VR are your favorite players. Can you swing like Scooter Gennett? Do you have a swing like him? Pretend you're Scooter Gennett right now and take a swing like him. Now, does that look like Scooter Gennett to you, Jason?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. How about Jonathan VR? Give me your Jonathan VR swing. Oh, all right, pretty good. Hey, turn around, buddy.
What's up, Mom?
Scooter Gennett, Jonathan
nice to
VR.
meet you, man. You know this man?
Good to see you, brother. So you swing with me? You want to have it? Let me see how you swing. Nice.
It was a great moment for our Brewers Live pregame today. We shot that yesterday with Luka Bravitz. He was in the ballpark yesterday. He's part of the G9 project, the Gold in September. We've got a big day on September 5th on Labor Day, Gold in September. And that is to raise awareness and to raise funding for research for childhood cancer. Luka's battling brain cancer. He's coming through it well, and he's a fighter, tough kid. He's been through a lot, been through some tough treatments for cancer. And Jonathan VR and Scooter Gennett were terrific with him yesterday. They gave him some great hitting tips as well, along with assistant hitting coach Jason Lane.
Yeah, good job setting that up, and just a smile on that young man's face is all you need to see, and makes it all worthwhile.
Well, these guys, they decked him out like a big leaguer, put the helmet on. At one point, VR put his elbow guard on. Scooter gave him a couple of batting gloves and a sweatband, and then they took him out on the field, and he got to run the bases. Came all the way around. Really appreciate those guys. Those are the family members there. Carol Ann, the mother, and Dad Bob, the two sisters.
How are you?
Craig Counsell even had Luka come sit with him for the media scrum before the game. He loved that part too. All those microphones were around him.
Yeah, Brewers do a really good job, really you know, getting right in there, and everybody to a man. They've done all a good job this year, doing things like that at the ballpark and all around the community.
Well, childhood cancer is an urgent health crisis right now, even for those who are surviving. It's tough on the families. We salute our friends at G9, Gold in September. Make sure you come to that game on September 5th and wear your gold. And special thanks to the Bravitz family and the Bartos family as well. Sarah, the president of G9. Always enjoy when we can shine a light on that foundation. Kirk Neuenhuis with a man at first. A leadoff walk to Chris Carter. Neuenhuis grew up a Rockies fan. He was a big Todd Helton fan. He said he wanted to swing like Ken Griffey Jr., but
not many can.
That wasn't attainable. He said the closest I could get was Todd Helton. So you'll notice a lot of Helton in Kirk Neuenhuis' swing.
A lot of hips in that swing for Neuenhuis. He's got a little bit of body in that swing and a little uppercut, which makes him a very good low ball hitter. And struggles like most hitters do with fastballs, you know, big fastballs like the one Gray has up in his zone. For success tonight, Kirk's going to have to really concentrate on getting that fastball down in the strike zone just by the nature of his swing.
And Neuenhuis with a base hit. Stayed right on it, and a 2-strike pitch from Gray. Neuenhuis turns it around, and the Brewers with 2 men on to start this second inning.
Well, it was up in the strike zone, but it was off speed, which allowed Neuenhuis a little bit more time to get on top of that pitch. And not a very good one. It was a slider, 89 miles an hour, and you know, Neuenhuis able to get a big part of the bat on it, maybe down on the handle just a little bit. Nice and quiet for Neuenhuis. And another base hit to right.
Something about Miller Park for Kirk Neuenhuis. His home road splits are significant. He loves hitting here. And he's got the Brewers in a position to score in the second inning. 2 on for Keon Broxton.
Yeah, and no art of hitting discussion can explain that.
Maybe go back to what you said about confidence. There's just a feel.
Sees the ball well. Good hitter's background here. And yep.
This is a good guy to break down. Keon Broxton, as far as hitting goes, he completely changed his batting stance in the middle of the season. After his second demotion down to AAA, decided to drop his hands. You don't see many guys do that and have success with it, but Broxton has, and he's come back and been on a tear ever since.
And it forces him to use his hands a lot more. And when you hold the bat like he has right at the belt, and those numbers speak for themselves. A lot of it is the mechanics of the swing, the adjustment, and a lot of it is playing every day and having confidence. Big difference for Broxton. He's getting a lot of playing time, but what comes first? The success or the playing time? For Broxton, I think it's been the playing time.
Fastball misses inside.
Brewers have made a commitment to Broxton, I think, going forward once the second half began, to see what he could do. Give him a lot of playing time. I don't think they anticipated this kind of success, but right now he's playing every day.
2 balls and a strike on Keon. And a wave and a miss. 2-2 now. And the Brewers have Domingo Santana back from the disabled list. The starting right fielder before the injury, but 2 players are keeping Santana on the bench right now. Keon Broxton and Kirk Neuenhuis.
You got to play the hot hand.
Two the count on Broxton. He's a little late.
Yeah, see, what he does is he holds those hands right at the top of the strike zone. So right away you're thinking mentally anything that is over the hands is going to be a ball. You know, anything up over here is going to be out of the strike zone. Anything below there, he's a good low ball hitter. Anything below there, you could take a hack at it. So right away, with the hands hanging down like that, you're automatically telling yourself, don't swing anything over my hands. The way I set him. Tough to do. It doesn't always work. But one of the reasons why it's been working for him, he has been laying off that high pitch a lot.
Able to take a pretty nasty slider or cutter from Gray at 90 miles an hour, and it's 3-2. That's a swing and a miss for the old Keon Broxton.
Because he was swinging a lot with his body. He was actually swinging the bat more then than he is now. He's, as we talked about, you know, when we came on the air, throwing the hands at the baseball. He's doing a much better job of that. And that's why he's been able to go to right field so well. Early in the year, wasn't able to do that because his body was rotating too soon. Just hanging right in there, just throwing the hands at the baseball.
Full count now, 2 on. And Gray from the stretch deals, and down goes Keon. He went right back to it, and Broxton strikes out.
That's just a good slider. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. He throws so hard. 91 with a slider. You don't see many come in at that velocity. If he gets that one close with 2 strikes, he's going to have a good night. The Brewers need to hope he's not able to throw that close enough to the zone to get a swing.
Now these 2 pitchers are racking up a bunch of Ks early. Chase Anderson has 5. 5 of the 6 outs he's recorded have been strikeouts. And that's the 3rd K for Gray as he faces Maldonado.
This guy is about as close to a Noah Syndergaard as we've seen. You know, the 90-91 slider, the big fastball. He doesn't throw as hard consistently as Syndergaard. Syndergaard, you know, 97, 98. This guy cruising speed about 95.
Drafted in the 1st round 3 years ago, 2013, out of the University of Oklahoma. Well, that is one nasty pitch he's got going right there at that velocity as well.
Oh, that velocity, you really can't pick up the spin. It's coming in too hard. There's too much rotation on it. You really can't see that dot that you can see with a lot of sliders. Just coming in too hard.
That's Carter at second, Neuenhuis at first. Slower breaking ball that time.
Curve. He'll throw a few of them. A few curves, a few change-ups.
Gray is among Major League rookie starting pitchers in strikeouts. 2nd in that category. 3rd in opponent's batting average among rookie starters in the big leagues. And Maldonado sends that one deep to center. That is way back. And it is off the wall. In is Carter. Neuenhuis will hold around 3rd. You can almost hear by the thud on the wall. A double for Maldonado. Missed a home run by just a couple of feet.
Now the Brewers base runners weren't sure there's only 1 out, so you really can't take off on contact. Not sure how far that's going to carry. That's just a beautiful swing. That's what you call your back leg swing right there. A little bit of an uppercut. And if you get a ball down, you can give it a ride right off the top of the wall. Neuenhuis not able to score on it. Now check that out. The back foot. See the lean, the slight lean on the back leg. And gets the good trajectory up.
Maldonado thought he got it. He thought he hit 1 out. He wasn't going anywhere because the runners ahead of him had to wait to see if it was going to be caught or not. Ends up as a double.
Yeah, we talk about balance. Maldonado, when he finishes like that on a swing like that, ends up with a lot of weight on the back foot as opposed to equally distributed between the front and the back.
And the squeeze is on, but the pitch gets by Hundley. In to score is Neuenhuis. On a wild pitch, the Brewers get their 2nd run.
Yeah, take him any way you can get him with the bottom of the order coming up. At the pitcher, the Brewers had a play on and all the way to the screen. And the Brewers with a 2-0 lead. It was a safety squeeze. He was going to drop down a bunt, or it looked like he was, but doesn't matter now.
We'll see if he tries the same bet here. Got a runner at 3rd, 1 away. Infield is in. Anderson squares. Pulls it back, and he takes a ball. 2-0.
That's a lot of velocity to be doing the old fake bunt and slash. Tough to get that bat back in time.
Two nothing Brewers. A double by Maldonado. 2nd run scores on a wild pitch. Anderson squares again. And he takes a ball. Now Maldonado does not run well at 3rd base, so this is going to have to be, if he does get the bunt down, it's going to have to be in a perfect spot. Can't imagine Anderson would give up an at-bat at this point, up 3-0 in the count. Might make him throw a couple of strikes. Three and one now. There's strike two. So now we'll see what Anderson does. Top of the order, Jonathan Villar is on deck. Foul tip in and out of the glove of Hundley.
Miss.
Did he tip it or did he miss it?
Sounded like he tipped it.
Home plate umpire is saying it's a swing and a miss. You can't review that, by the way.
It did sound like there was a double hit, didn't it?
It did in my ears. Let's see if we can pick something up on replay.
You're not going to be able to see a foul tip on slow motion, I don't think. But a little bit of a whiff. That was two.
Yeah, that's two. For me, here's the thing. For me, a major league catcher is not going to miss a pitch like that unless it's tipped.
Right.
Unless the trajectory changes. But again, you can't review that, so it's a swing and a miss.
But it was definitely a double sound. Sounded like it hit the bat and the glove. I think Chase is just glad to be out of there.
I think you're right. He got one run in. He forced a wild pitch.
That pitch is coming in too hard. I would have sit down.
So here's Villar now with 2 outs and Maldonado at third. Now, if you're Nick Hundley, you're in no man's land as a catcher when you go back to your dugout, because it was either a foul tip, which gets you off the hook, or you missed the ball. You missed the pitch.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. It was a foul tip, and the umpire missed it.
I was right there. I would have caught it. I catch those in my sleep. So home plate umpire Paul Immel says, how come he didn't catch that ball, Nick?
Making me look bad.
And then what's your answer? Do you say, well, because he foul tipped it, or I'm just not on my game tonight, ump? Villar pops it up center field. And that will retire the side. Martin Maldonado drives in a run. Almost hit one out of here. The Brewer catcher with his 14th RBI. Then a wild pitch. The Brewers get another one in. And it's 2-0 Crew.
In the second to take a 2-0 lead over the Rockies into the top of the third inning. No batting practice on the field earlier today for the Brewers, but there was a simulated game played, and Junior Guerra was the headliner. He threw the equivalent of an inning, then went and sat down, and Jacob Barnes came out and pitched the equivalent of an inning. The 3 of the 4 Brewers that's on the 15-day disabled list participated in this simulated game, and the next step for Junior Guerra will be a AAA start this Saturday for Guerra. He will go down to Colorado Springs and make a minor league start, and then him along as well as Jacob Barnes and Will Middlebrooks will all return to Milwaukee in September. But the next step for Junior Guerra, he will make a start on Saturday. BA.
All right, Telly, thanks. Good to see Junior Guerra back on the mound once again. Looking strong once again.
Yeah, hopefully everything goes well. I mean, he looked good. I mean, everything was great, but I think tomorrow is going to be a very important day to see how that elbow responds after throwing off the mound. And then if that goes well, if he's feeling good tomorrow, the next day, then he might go down to minor leagues. You know, Will Middlebrooks, I mean, that's a nightmare for a hitter. To be in that batting cage, a simulated game. I used to be that guy that would be asked to go and hit off guys, and either that or I'd have to catch him. So Marcus Hanel doing a good job behind home plate.
Charlie Blackmon slaps one to the opposite field, a base hit. And a single for the Rockies leadoff hitter to begin this third inning.
I just threw the hands of that pitch away from Chase Anderson. I mean, not a lot of movement at all before that swing. Just check out how quiet it is. The high leg kick, foot down, just throws the hands down at the baseball. Not a lot of hips in that swing. That's all hands. And just drives it into left field. Good hitter.
Well, Blackmon came into play today batting .320. He's having a great year. David Dahl now. Brewers get 2 in the bottom of the second.
It really is amazing when you watch these major league hitters how still their head is. You know, from the time the pitcher gets rid of that baseball, it's on its way to home until they start their swing. Their head barely moves. Eyes, both eyes on the pitcher. You know, these hitters aren't following that arm around as it comes out of the glove, around and down and release point. They're picking out a spot where they think that baseball is going to come out. That's why a lot of times hitters will struggle with pitchers they've never seen before because they don't know where the release point is. But just check out Dahl, how still his head is throughout this entire pitch. It's only until he decides to swing or not that it moves at all. Both eyes on the pitcher, both eyes on the baseball. That's what gives you the good depth perception.
It's our theme night tonight, the art of hitting, during our broadcast. And breaking down these hitters to what makes them successful at the major league level. We get focused on results from this side of the fence as fans and see the numbers on the scoreboard. So much that goes into it. All the behind the scenes training, all the work, the video work, the swings, the muscle memory, the repetition of swings, trying to lock that perfect swing in. And these guys make it look easy out there sometimes.
And this is all a part of the art of hitting too. Getting yourself in a favorable count. 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. And that's what seeing the baseball does for you. Identifying balls and strikes. That might be the most important part of hitting at the major league level. Matter of fact, any level for that matter. You can be very aggressive in a count like this, 2-1.
In the air to right field, on the run, Nieuwenhuis can't get it. On a hop it goes, and Blackmon all the way to third base. And now the Rockies with 2 on and nobody out. Back-to-back singles by the top 2 hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, second time through, a little bit more difficult for Chase. Nice quiet hands. Look at the head. He's very still. The leg up. It's down before he swings. And on a 2-1 count, he's anticipating fastball. Got one. And hit it hard. Check it out. No movement at all with that head. Head down, even through contact. Good example right there. Good camera work.
This guy's really hitting well right now. He's hit safely in 26 of his first 28 games in the majors. Looks like a terrific young player for Colorado. And now Anderson in the deep waters here is Arenado, and on the first pitch he launches one out of here. That didn't take long. Just like that, the Rockies are on top. Arenado with his league leading 33rd home run of the season gives him 107 runs batted in. What a year he's having.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? And that's the 4th home run he's hit off of Chase Anderson in his career. Check it out. Everything working well. It was a changeup, it looked like. Middle in and Arenado. Look how that head is down. I mean, that head is down right on that baseball. Once the hips pop open, that leads the bat through the strike zone, and that stiff front leg. He's got good balance and drives it out of here. They make it look so easy. That's the thing that you have to keep in mind. This is not an easy thing to do. These are the best in the world doing this.
Brand new ball game. Brewers get 2 in the second. Anderson gives up 3 right away in the third. And a 3-2 Rockies lead. Carlos Gonzalez gets sawed off, and VR will whistle it over to first base. Out number 1. Tell you, Nolan Arenado is becoming the new Todd Holliday at Miller Park, or Matt Holliday, I should say.
I think you were combining Helton and
right.
Holliday.
Todd Helton, Matt Holliday.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado. But Arenado is 9 for 18 at Miller Park. This is his 5th game career here. 9 hits, 2 homers, 4 doubles, 8 RBIs.
Yeah. Good hitter's ballpark. Chase Anderson had just gave up his 23rd home run.
Big swing by Rayburn and a foul. (3-2) Rockies play in the third. Anderson with 5 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. All of his outs have been either strikeouts or ground balls to the shortstop. VR. There's a strike. Outside corner with a change, and it's 1-2. Went right back to it. Misses with it, and it's 2-2 now. Rayburn singled in the second. First hit for the Rockies. Started this inning with 3 in a row. Up the middle, right there is Jeanette on the shift. 2 outs. A 4-3 putout. Our Carsoup.com trivia tonight. Who was the last Rockies hitter to lead the National League in homers? Nolan Arenado might put his name on that list at the conclusion of the season. He's the league leader currently. Just hit his 33rd of the year. Two outs for Descalso now, who walked his first time up. He's up there hacking this time. A swing and a miss.
Chase starting to work that curveball in a little bit. That's been basically fastball changeup.
The power bat of Nolan Arenado strikes again.
Not a bad guy to build your organization around. Nolan Arenado. I mean, talk about a star that puts in the work at the plate, in the field. Turned himself into a leader in this ball club. And knows how to have a good time. Nothing wrong with that.
How about 3 Gold Gloves to start his career as well, and He is legitimately one of the great defenders at third base that we've seen in the game already. Only other player to have 3 Gold Gloves to start a career in the major leagues, Ichiro. Did it as an outfielder.
Yeah.
Full count, 2 outs. And a little cue shot. Backing up on it is VR. And a long throw is in time for the out. Anderson comebacks well. Gets 3 ground ball outs after the 3-run home run by Arenado.
Now I would say it's pretty good. It's ready to go. Then I put on my bat weight here, and then normally I get loose. All right. Do 1 swing there, get here. Maybe a little swing like that. A lot of guys will keep this on the whole time they're on deck. For me, I like to feel the normal bat weight, so I use this just to really get loose.
Scooter Gennett's pre-at-bat routine. And we appreciate Scooter taking us through that. Everybody's got their thing, and it is interesting. Some guys keep the donut or the bat weight on and swing with it on, and then the bat feels lighter. But he said he wants to feel the true weight of the bat when he gets to the plate.
Yeah, I always felt like wearing batting gloves always made the bat feel a little bit lighter. Not sure why that was, but it really doesn't matter. If you think that, then it makes a difference.
Yeah, right. That's
Perception's reality to you in some cases. And remember Dave Parker used to have the sledgehammer on the on-deck circle?
Ryan Howard picked that up.
Yeah.
Had that sledgehammer that he used to use.
It's kind of intimidating over there in the on-deck circle, you know, wheeling around a sledgehammer. I guess pitcher looks over there and kind of gets a bit a little nervous.
It's always interesting watching Braun. You see his pre-at-bat routine there as he does an over-exaggeration of a swing. There's a bouncer to first. Rayburn's got it, and there's out number 1.
Over exaggerates on the high pitch.
Yeah, he's up around the chin, up around the face.
All of his and you know what that reminds him to do? Get on top of the baseball, and he does that as well as anybody in the big leagues. I mean, the way he can whistle that ball right over the first baseman's head and hit it straight as a string. Most guys, when they do that, they're going to get a little bit of a slice, but Ryan doesn't.
There's a good look at it. That's an eye-level swing, not one he would ever take in a game. You would never see Braun swing like that, but that's his mechanism to help him remember. Now, it's interesting when you think back about Ryan Braun. He used to do that on the dugout steps, and he would use the railing, the Miller Park railing, as kind of his bottom level where he would swing over that railing on the dugout steps. And then one day he hits Gene Segura in the eye with that swing. So they don't let him do that over there anymore. Right on the corner of the railing right there by that was his imagery as a baseball, I suppose, the top of that railing, and he would swing over the top of it. And Gene Segura was just happened to be walking right by him when he did that.
Not paying attention. You better be alive in there. You saw Chris Carter getting ready to get on the on-deck circle. Guys starting to get ready to hit. They might grab the the batting gloves, the helmet, get in that little area where the bats are. Right now, Neuenhuis is starting to think about his at-bat again.
Now Braun, a defensive swing there. John Gray has struck him out twice. A feather in the cap for the rookie.
Yeah. Both coming on that breaking pitch. Check it out. Both times off the plate. And Ryan not able to hold up.
Hernan Perez. Like Ryan Braun, Perez uses that toe tap mechanism, but he's got a bigger leg kick with his front leg than Braun does.
And Perez does a real good job. I mean, the one thing that he does a good job of that allows him to hit the ball to right field. He keeps the hands very close to the body, leads with the hands, and that gets the barrel of the bat through the strike zone. Not that time, though.
Boy, that's a nasty breaking ball there. A little cutter from Gray, and he strikes out Braun and Perez. And a 3-up, 3-down third after his team got him 3.
The top of the 4th inning. Time now for our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll start off with Gary Sanchez, who has gotten off to a great start to his Yankees career. 8 home runs in his first 17 games. He has 15 RBIs to go with it. Mark Trumbo, 1 for 2 with a home run, but his last 7 hits have been home runs. And Freddie Freeman, we just saw him here in Milwaukee not too long ago, was 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. 26 home runs for the season, along with 61 runs batted in NBA.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. Certainly putting his name in the MVP discussion. Mark Trumbo. Gary Sanchez coming off Player of the Week honors. That is a drive into right center by Hundley. That's going to bounce off the wall. Hundley on his way to second, and it's a leadoff double.
Well, got caught looking his first time up on a fastball. This time not messing around. Got a fastball down and drives it into right center. Struck him out on 3 pitches. Watch the head. The eyes go down to the baseball, and you can see that belt buckle. Anytime you see that belt buckle from the center field camera, you know that those hips are leading the hands through the zone. Kind of served it out there. You saw that the bend in that front leg. So normally you have the stiff leg on contact. That's when you generate the most power.
Rockies lead 3-2. Pickoff play at second. Hundley is back. Anderson knocked out of his last start in Chicago after just 2 outs. He got hit by a line drive off the bat of Chris Bryant. Called it a quad injury, just inside the knee. Brewers had him in the bullpen just in case over the weekend, and back in the starting rotation here tonight. Christian Adames at the plate. He walked his last time up. Rockies' 8th place hitter. Two and one. In Chicago with Chris Bryant at the plate. That bullet off the bat. That left the bat over 107 miles an hour and caught him just inside the left knee.
Just a little bit above hitting all bone in that knee. Had it been a little bit lower, it would have been a lot worse for Anderson. Not able to finish, not able to continue, but 2 days later he's able to work out of the bullpen. Actually 3 days later. Very lucky.
Two-two to Adames. Lead double for the Rockies here in the 4th. Nick Hundley.
See, the at-bat changes right here from Adames. Man at second, nobody up. We got the pitcher on deck, so his job is not just to hit a weak ground ball to the right side to get him over to third base. That's really not what the goal is at this point with the pitcher coming up. You want to drive the ball in that direction.
Lays the bat on it, got fooled by the pitch, and a lazy fly ball to center. So that's a victory for Chase Anderson, out number 1, and the runner has to stay put.
And a good curveball. Hey, Country Night returns to Miller Park this Saturday as the Brew Crew takes on the Pirates. Get a Brewers trucker hat with a special Country Night ticket package, plus enjoy a post-game concert from country music star Kip Moore, courtesy of 94.5 KTI Country.
Pirates in town this weekend.
I heard Kip Moore can hit a little bit.
Really?
Swing.
How do you hear something like that?
I just made it up. Just trying to bring everything all together.
Oh well, that was really good. Sorry to expose that.
Didn't work. I wasn't going to lie.
I mean, he's probably a pretty good athlete.
Maybe he's going to take a few hacks. Batting practice.
We'd encourage that. Maybe you could give him a few pointers. We could carry over our Art of Hitting theme all the way to Saturday.
He might be watching tonight.
Sure he is. The pitcher, Gray, at the plate. Now this is the way out of the inning here for Chase Anderson. He's got the pitcher up. Top of the order next. Very good hitters at the top of that Rockies batting order. 2-1 to Gray. Boy, what a great night for baseball in Milwaukee. Temperatures in the 70s, low 70s even. Might get a little rain tomorrow. Final game of the series. Good news is there's a roof.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
2-2 now on Gray. Yeah, day game tomorrow, a little matinee. 1:10 first pitch. And then the Pirates are coming in Thursday through Sunday. And then after that, it's the Cardinals. It's a long homestand. 10 games in all. There's a swing and a miss, a strikeout for Anderson. That is number 6. And 2 outs in the 4th. Take you back to the Carsoup.com trivia question. We're talking about Rockies history here. The last Rockies hitter to lead the National League in homers. That would be Larry Walker. He had 49 in '97.
The Blake Street Bombers. Boy, those guys could hit, huh? Dante Bichette, Galarraga, Vinny Castilla. Boy.
I was talking to Kirk Neuenhuis about the Blake Street Bombers. That's right about the time he moved to Denver and became a Rockies fan. He said, I was a Todd Helton guy, but I love Larry Walker. Walker was at the end of his career with Colorado in the formidable years for Neuenhuis. Forget how young these guys are.
Yeah. You try to forget.
They just keep reminding you. Snap throw to second. Got a play here. The tag in and out of the glove of VR.
If he catches it, he's out. How about Maldonado? You know, you can always tell a catcher that has a good arm because he uses it all day. Pickoff throws first, second base. If VR catches this baseball, he's got an out.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe the foot of Hundley knocked it out. VR was trying to catch that as deep as he could in the base path, but just as the ball was going into the glove, Hundley made contact with it. Fortunate for the base runner. Blackman rolls over one. Carter's way over there. Now a race to the bag. Anderson is there, and that will retire the side. Scoreless inning for Chase Anderson. Chris Carter, he'll lead off, sitting on 30 homers this season.
Has a rather unusual way of going about his business. He hit a home run last night, and the thing about Carter is he lets go with his top hand after the point of contact. Now keep in mind, it's after contact. You see right there, after he makes contact with the baseball, top hands off. Really doesn't matter at that point. Now check out the way he's on balance right here. This is where Chris Carter is, straight up in the air. Now watch as the swing, as the ball comes, he's not going to move at all. Not a whole lot of drift either way. Just perfect balance. Straight up. Doesn't move. Doesn't rock back, front or back, front or forward. And that's just a beautiful swing by Carter.
Yeah, big man with big power. 30 home runs this season for Carter. Leads off this 4th inning with the Brewers down a run. 3-2 Colorado. All 3 runs for the Rockies coming on a Nolan Arenado 3-run homer. And now Carter 3 behind Arenado in the home run chase. Carter hitting 5th again tonight. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning. There's a strike 3 called. Fastball from Gray, making quick work of Carter.
Yeah, right on the inside corner. Not a whole lot you can do about that. You just hope he misses off the plate with it and able to catch the inside edge.
7 punch outs now for Gray. 3 in a row. Well, Kirk Nieuwenhuis has pushed his way onto the Powerball home run leaderboard. He's currently 3rd on the club with 11. He and Perez. Scooter Gennett has 10. VR has 10. Carter and Braun lead the way. Nieuwenhuis singled to right center in the 2nd inning. Scored a run. He scored on a wild pitch. Two balls and a strike on Nieuwenhuis. You can't truly appreciate how big Nieuwenhuis is until you stand up next to him. He looks like a football player.
About 6'4" and fast. He can run.
Star running back in high school in the Denver area. He's officially listed at 6'3", 225. Trending on the 6'4" side, though. You're right, because I saw you guys talking the other day, and you were looking slightly up at him. What are you, 6'3"?
6'3", yeah.
Only when you see him up to Bill Schroeder do you realize, man, he is big. Down he goes, a strikeout. That's 4 in a row for Nieuwenhuis.
Yeah, that's that high pitch. Talking about Gray.
Gray, 4 in a row for Gray, his 8th overall.
Yeah, that high pitch we were talking about that gives Nieuwenhuis a problem, particularly when it's at 95 miles an hour. That one right on the edge. This guy's got it going tonight.
Quicken Loan's rocket arms for tonight shows the strikeout leaders for both teams. Gray is up to 140, leads the club. That is 2nd most among starting pitchers among rookies in the major leagues, and Jimmy Nelson is the Brewers strikeout leader. Jimmy had 4 Ks last night, no walks in his 6th inning outing. Got the win last night.
He had some incredible movement with his fastball last night. I mean, not big velocity like he did last year or early in the season, but his pitches were moving a lot. He got a lot of outs early in counts, able to stick around a lot longer, able to get through 6 innings. Had to feel good about that appearance. And kept a very good Rockies offense, only 2 runs.
A swing and a miss, another strikeout. John Gray has struck out 6 of his last 8 batters faced.
As we move to the top of the fifth, time to check in with the crew in the community. Beyond the Diamond is a series of community outreach events that take place each month during the season, all of which involve partnering with Brewers Community Foundation, players and coaches, Brewer wives, alumni, and team personnel. Working in the community events will be funded in part by Brewers Community Foundation and focused on the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. For details, visit brewers.com/beyond the Diamond.
All right, Telly, thanks. Here we go to the fifth inning. Brewers Rockies. First ball swinging is Dahl, and Jeanette throws him out to start the inning. Chase Anderson, 1 pitch and 1 out, and here comes Nolan Arenado.
Well, let's break down Arenado's swing right here, and you can see the setup. Now watch the head. The head's going to go down, and watch the stiff front leg after the point of contact, and the hips are going to rotate. Let's check it out. I mean, this is a perfect swing. I mean, good load. Watch the head go down, the hips open up, and that stiff front leg I was talking about at the point of contact, that's where you get your power. That well-balanced swing and not out in front. Remember the Hundley double when he had his front knee bent a little bit out in front, but still had enough because his hands were back. But Arenado really exaggerating right there, keeping that head down right on the baseball. Good job.
That pitch on the inside corner, but it was a changeup. Arenado was able to get the bat to it, and it was a no-doubter off the bat.
And bat speed at the point of contact. It's not how hard you swing. It's how the bat is going at the point of contact. How fast the bat is going at the point of contact. You have guys that might wind up, have those long swings, but you throw the hands of the bat, the hands at the baseball. You get that quickness of your bat. You can wait back a little bit longer. Just have that natural ability to elevate the baseball and hit it far like Arenado.
Arenado is still only 25 years of age, and he whistles that one into left field, a base hit. So he's 2 out of 3. His success against Chase Anderson continues.
Talking about grooving a swing, I guarantee that looks just exactly like the home run. Check it out. Watch the head. Watch the stiff front leg. I mean, that is exactly what he looked like when he hit the homer. I don't believe there's too many guys in baseball that exaggerate getting the head down like Arenado does. And he really concentrates on keeping his eye on the baseball.
What a talent. I tell you, there aren't many players in the game that you would start a franchise with ahead of Arenado right now.
Yeah, you're right. He can do it all. And he's got the leadership skills.
Here's Gonzalez, and he got under it. High pop up into shallow left field, and it's going to be VR way out there in the grass. VR just flicked it into first base, trying to catch Arenado napping. It's good play by VR. Yeah, let's take a look at what you're talking about, Rock. Home runs on the right, the base hit to left is on the left.
And can you tell the difference? Maybe the point of contact a little bit different.
Now the pitch was, the base hit to left was a little down and away and moved his body to go get that baseball.
You can see after he makes contact, the head on the right on the home run was up a little bit, watching the flight of the baseball. The other one on the left, it was a little bit more straight ahead because it was a line drive.
That's good stuff. Skips away from Maldonado. And a wild pitch. Arenado goes to second.
The trick is, I mean, not many can do it, but it doesn't really matter where the pitch is. Your swing should be the same. I say should. It's very difficult to be able to accomplish that. The pitch, the location of the pitch will dictate when you start your swing, which is why it makes it so difficult sometimes to hit pitches inside, because you have to really commit early. And a lot of times when you commit early, you're going to swing at pitches out of the zone, right? And when a pitch is away, you just take the same swing. You just wait a little bit longer. I just say just. I mean, it is almost impossible for just about everybody. Even major leaguers have a difficult time with that. And that's what makes hitting such a difficult thing to do.
Well, we're about to find out another reality as far as how hard it is to play baseball at this level, because Tim Tebow has announced he is going to try to play professional baseball, right? So he's 29 years of age, and he's got this big tryout coming up at the end of the month. The Brewers are going to have a scout there. It's going to be in Los Angeles. And I'm a huge Tim Tebow fan, and his athletic career, his Heisman trophies, all of that. He's been fantastic. What an athlete, what a player.
Right.
There is no chance he's going to play in the major leagues.
Well, who's a better athlete, Michael Jordan or Tim Tebow? It didn't work out for Jordan. Of course, you know, he didn't give it all that much time, but there's more to hitting a baseball than just sheer athleticism. It's a talent. It's an art. That's why we're talking about it as the art of hitting.
Two balls and a strike. Ryan Rayburn at the plate, and a swing and a miss. Big hack. 2-2 there.
Two guys come to mind when you talk about, you know, the two sports, football, baseball. Bo Jackson.
Yep.
And Deion Sanders. Sanders is a pretty good player.
Sure. Bo Jackson, if not for the football injury, the hip injury, figure he could have had a long career, big home run power. Struck out a lot, but man, oh man, what a talent.
Yeah.
And what a throwing arm.
Yeah, amazing. And could run, obviously.
A swing and a miss. Anderson strikes him out. And another scoreless inning for Chase. He is through 5. The Brewers are down a run.
Couple TV monitors that we have, one of which is for left-handed hitters only. So all our left-handed hitters can come on this side and watch just how the pitcher attacks our left-handed hitters. And as we go even further here to the right, while as you can see, we have work going on here in the cages, so it gets kind of loud in here. But now you also have the right-handed hitters on this television where you can see them seeing the pitches and how the pitcher that we're going to see tonight attacks them.
That's Darnell Coles, the hitting coach, giving us a little tour of the Brewers indoor batting cage, which is a double tunnel down there, and then all the technology that they have added for him. And there's a lot of work that's going on in that batting cage with all of the stat graphics or the video of pitches, various pitches. You can break those down too, and curveballs, fastballs, changeups. You can do it a ton of different ways.
Well, what that does, it allows you to anticipate while you're at the plate, you know, what a guy's going to throw you. What does he typically throw to a left-handed hitter in a 2-2 count? I mean, and sometimes You know, those scouting reports are pretty dramatic. I mean, 90% of the time he's going to throw a fastball. I mean, it's good to know that. Or 90% of the time he throws a slider. So as a hitter, if you choose to use all that information, it's kind of an advantage for you. It's almost like knowing what's coming. A pretty good chance, which is sometimes why it could be good and bad if you rely too heavily on it. Sometimes you watch and you see a guy take a fastball right down the middle of the plate on an 0-2 count or a 1-2 count. That's because the scouting report will tell you that most times he's going to be throwing a breaking pitch out of the strike zone. And sometimes, knowing that stuff can work against you as well.
Maldonado grounds one in the hole. Long throw and a good throw. Wow, what a play by Adames. I'm telling you about his strong throwing arm that we were watching today, and boy, he needed all of it right there. Now Maldonado does not run well, but this is a very difficult play.
And just about anybody else on the Brewers is going to be able to beat this out, but Maldi having a difficult time getting down that line, still taking nothing away from the throwing arm from Adames and the range. Able to get rid of it quickly and get the out.
Well, going to have a pinch hitter here. Chase Anderson's day is done. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, had 7 Ks. And here's Jake Elmore. Elmore was the guy in the cage that was swinging the bat. That piece we just showed you, off the tee.
Tee is a very important tool that all hitters use. They use it, during the game, as a matter of fact. I mean, guys like Elmore probably went back into that cage knowing he might pinch hit. Back here to get some swings. Jason Lane probably in there flipping him some soft toss to get loose.
Elmore in the cage, just doing his thing, getting into his routine, and our Snoopy cameras are in there. Check out this look he gives us right here. He's like, pan around. There's Jake. He's like, wait, don't look at me. Sneaking up on him.
There's a few places that normally cameras aren't allowed.
That's right.
Batting cage and the training room.
Probably the last thing he was looking for.
Yeah. No, we don't see that. We appreciate the Brewers giving us access.
That's a good look. By the way, they've got a great setup in there too with the speakers. They have some fun in that cage. They have this setting. There's a bouncer to first, and this will be out number 2. They can set up with an iPad or an iPhone, whatever your music choice is, and you direct connect it to these giant speakers, and they call it Club BP. And this thing rocks. I mean, it throttles.
Yeah, walking into the stadium, before the games, 3:30, 4 o'clock, you can't even hear yourself think walking down that service level when you get, in the ballpark. These guys get in the mood, right? They get into the swing of it with loud music. Everybody has their own style.
Yeah, they turned it off for us to go in there, but you'd have never been able to hear the interview. But as soon as the cameras were off, they crank it back up. It is loud. Big speakers. Ultimate man cave down there with all those monitors. And
there's not too much Sinatra blaring, though.
No. There's a lot of bass.
Yeah.
It's all about that bass, Rock. No trouble.
Big difference from back in the old days at County Stadium.
On your transistor radio.
Oh, we didn't have music. You kidding? Music?
There's a line drive to left, going to be caught by Dahl in a 1-2-3 inning. Rocking the Sinatra, huh? Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business.
Hey, keep up with the Brew Crew wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the official app of the Brewers, featuring live broadcasts, scoring updates, breaking news, and much, much more. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
5 in the books here at Miller Park. We go to the 6th. It'll be Yan Marinez to pitch for Milwaukee. Marinez in for Chase Anderson. He'll face Descalso, Hundley, and Adames to start it. 6, 7, and 8 in the Rockies lineup.
And basically had a 3-batter stretch, and that's it. You know, base hit, home run. That's it.
Anderson giving up 6 hits across his 5 innings. He struck out 7. That one swing of the bat by Arenado, the difference in this one. 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. Meanwhile, John Gray has retired 11 straight and is sitting on 9 strikeouts for Colorado. 2 balls, no strikes on Daniel Descalso. And it goes to 3-0. Marinez will try to bridge the gap, see if the Brewers can get the lead back.
Hey, remember that nice comeback the Brewers had on Sunday against the Mariners in Seattle. Marinez, in large part, helped the Brewers with that victory. 2 1/3 scoreless innings out of the bullpen against the Mariners.
Hit hard left center. Broxton will run it down. Got a good jump. Makes the play for the first out of the 6th. Hey, don't forget, coming up Saturday, baseball doubleheader on FS1. You've got Chris Bryant and the Cubs. They'll have the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. And then the Tigers tangle with Mike Trout and the Angels. Action begins Saturday, 2 p.m. Central on FS1. Or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Nick Hundley with 1 away. And again, swinging at the first pitch. A swing and a miss. Had a first pitch double into right center his last time up. In the air to center. And Broxton for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Marinez. Here comes the shortstop, Christian Adames. Maldonado says, man, you robbed me of a hit, man. I'm trying to feed my kids.
That's exactly what he's saying. You see him give him a look like that? And heads up, don't dig in.
Yeah, good fastball. Didn't get the call. Adames able to check his swing. Talk a lot about technique and a lot about philosophy. You can just watch these hitters between pitches talk to themselves. The thinking machine is on, going through the Rolodex of pitches they've seen, all the scouting work, the prep work they've done coming into the game.
It's a mental game more than anything else. I mean, all these players are talented. We've talked about it already tonight, but it's all about the confidence, knowing what you're looking for. You know, that sign in the Brewers batting cage is a great one. You know, good players swing at good pitches. Great players don't miss good pitches. And that's what it's all about. I mean, getting yourself in a position up there at the plate. You know, you're patient at the plate for a reason. I mean, you want to be swinging at strikes. You get the count in your favor. And those are the times you really want to be aggressive and try to drive the baseball into a gap somewhere. A lot of times these days, though, guys aren't going to be swinging 2-0, 3-1. And sometimes that drives a hitting coach crazy. What other reason is there for being patient at the plate and getting the count in your favor for that? So why take a fastball down the middle? Not quite sure.
That's one thing you see a lot of in the game right now. Hitters taking good pitches when they've gotten themselves in those counts.
And so instead of a 2-1 fastball that you get a good swing at, you're sitting at a 2-2 count and you still haven't swung the bat. Guys are too patient sometimes. Well, you know, it's all about on-base percentage these days. It really is. I mean, working the counts, getting the pitch counts up, getting the pitcher out of the game, getting into the bullpen. Game has changed a lot in that regard.
Full count, 2 outs. And Mariñez misses. 2-out walk. Same can be said for pitchers as well, though, right?
Right.
Too much nibbling, too much respect for the hitters.
Yeah, how many times you see a pitcher get ahead 0-2 and then try and nibble, just get a guy to chase, and now all of a sudden he's at a 3-2 count and he's back to a fastball count.
Yeah. One thing we know for sure, the game is really easy from up here. And probably from where you're sitting watching this game. It's extremely difficult down there.
It looks like you have all day to determine, you know, whether to swing or not. It looks relatively easy to cover that outfield, but if you stand out there anytime, it is a huge amount of space to cover with 3 guys. And they do a good job of it.
Snap throw to first. Back in time, Adames. Maldonado's just itching to throw somebody out tonight. Had a couple of steals on him last night. Jimmy Nelson does not hold runners well, and Maldonado does not like that.
And I think Adames, he'd love to pick him off after robbing him of a base hit.
If nothing else, he's going to make sure he gets dirty. Not sure what that conversation with Maldonado and the home plate umpire was about.
Yeah, maybe thought it was a strike, but because Maldonado was snap throwing to first base, umpire probably said, I couldn't see it. You were moving.
1-2 now on Gray.
Pitch number 2 looked like a strike, but again, didn't get the call. That was what that chat was about. Umpires will say to a catcher, you got to stay down for me. I can't see it. My response to that is, it's your responsibility to get in position to see it. I got to play here.
Or you can say, when in doubt, call a strike.
Right. Look at number 2 is a strike. That's what they were talking about.
The 1-2, and that one's driven in the gap in right center. That's trouble. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Adames is coming all the way around to score. Oh, the pitcher John Gray delivers his 4th RBI of the year. An RBI double to make it 4-2 Colorado.
And got one right down the middle of the plate. Yep, right down the middle, and Gray, the pitcher, able to get enough of it, gets on top of it, drives it into the gap. You see, even pitchers have good technique up the plate. I mean, that was a nice swing. The big difference is they just don't get enough at bats to be able to call themselves good hitters, but that was a good approach. Good swing.
That's his 2nd double of his season. Produces a run, 4-2 the score. That one hurts for Mariñez, sitting there with 2 outs, nobody on, 2 strikes on the hitter.
After you walk the 8-hitter.
Now Charlie Blackmon is up, and Mariñez going to have to make some good pitches here against a .320 hitter. Blackmon hits for a high average, has power, has an OPS at .918 coming into this at bat, and he's a leadoff hitter.
We saw him hit a bullet into left field in the 3rd inning. on a pitch away. Just kind of threw the hands at it. It was all arms, the swing on that pitch.
One and two the count on Blackmon. He's been an all-star. This is a guy that every general manager would love to have in their organization. Excellent center fielder. Very fast. Good leadoff hitter with a high on-base percentage. With some power. He was up there among league leaders in stolen bases last season. A wave and a miss. Marinez strikes him out. But the pitcher, John Gray, is having a night. Just drove in a run, and he leads 4-2 now.
As a hitter, I just always try to simplify things. You trust your eyes. Your eyes will tell you what to swing at and when to swing. I think sometimes people overanalyze mechanics, focus too many times on things that are out of their control. Whereas if you just focus on seeing the ball, hitting the ball, it'll force you to be down on time and hopefully allow you to swing at the pitches you should swing at.
He makes it sound so easy, right?
Well, and again, don't concentrate too much on fundamentals. He's got his fundamentals down pat. I mean, he's one of the best in all of baseball. So, you know, as a younger person, I mean, that's an important thing. And when you watch Ryan stand up there at the plate, watch how much his head is turned and both eyes are on that pitcher. I can't stress that enough. I mean, a lot of times you go to a little league field and you see guys, they're hunched over, the kids, and they got one eye, you know, on the pitcher, and you really can't see all that way. You got to have that head straight up, turn it toward the pitcher, so that you can see the baseball and determine whether it's a ball or a strike. It's the only way you can do that.
Braun due up second this inning. Our Art of Hitting theme night on Fox Sports Wisconsin. It's been fascinating. Rock's a great teacher. If you go to fantasy camp, you get all this instruction for, I can't say free, but it's part of your package.
All inclusive.
It's all
right.
it's all inclusive.
Once you're there, it's free.
Scooter Gennett leads off, and he slaps one into the opposite field. That's going to get down, a base hit. A single for Scooter. He's 2 out of 3 tonight.
Watch Scooter, nice quiet hands, not much of a load right there, but he gets a slider from Gray. He's made a couple of mistakes with that slider tonight. Scooter Gennett with his second hit, and watch down and through. Notice the stiff front leg, and down and through, gets on top of it, and that's the way you line it. Just watch the shoulders sometimes as well too. I mean, the shoulders, two shoulders are parallel. One's not up, one's not down. That's how you hit the ball squarely and get that line drive.
When you hit it on the sweet spot where Scooter just did, you hardly even feel it. It's the best feeling in the world, and you don't feel anything. Now Braun. He's trying to solve the riddle of John Gray. That base hit by Jeanette snapped a string of 11 straight for Gray. 9 strikeouts for the rookie.
And what Ryan would tell you in that dugout, what he needs to do to, have a good at bat is I need to do a better job of identifying balls and strikes, not I can't see the ball. And not saying things negative to himself. You always have to stay positive. There's enough going around in baseball negative. Don't do it to yourself.
Well, you could tell by the way Braun tracked that pitch in. He is trying to follow it as far as he can, overemphasizing the track of the pitch all the way to the catcher's mitt. Probably had no designs to swing at that pitch. You're just going to see one.
Confidence in knowing that next time I go to the plate, I'm going to get a good pitch to hit and rattle one off the wall. Not concerned at all about his previous 2 at bats. Guaranteed.
In the dirt. Good block by Hundley. Now 3-0. Braun's been able to lay off that little cutter.
So
that's
Gray
the
and
pitch
Hundley
that struck him out the first 2 times.
Gray and Hundley are thinking to themselves, okay, I'm going to keep throwing this slider in the dirt. Braun's going to keep swinging at it, but he hasn't. Tracking the baseball much better.
Braun rarely swings 3-0. But every now and then he'll let one loose. Brewers are down 2. And that misses inside. Ball 4. Leadoff single. And then a walk. And now 2 on. Nobody out in the 6th inning.
Yeah, start getting that pitch count up on Gray to get into that bullpen. It'd be nice to get the hot pitcher out of the game.
Walt Weiss checking in with his pitching coach Steve Foster in there. Pitches by inning. It's been pretty efficient. That 2nd inning bit him a little bit. He gave up 2 runs on 2 hits in that inning. Had the wild pitch that scored a run.
88 pitches in the 6th, not too bad when you consider he's got 9 punch outs.
Here's Hernan Perez, and a swing and a miss. He tied him up with a big fastball. Still throwing hard.
And what we were talking about with Perez, his last time up, he popped out to center, but he does a real good job keeping the hands close to the body. That allows him to drive the ball to the opposite field. Doesn't get the barrel out in front of the hands.
2 on, nobody out. And Perez fouls it away. Another one inside. Hernan's having a career year. 11 homers, 41 runs batted in. He's never gotten this much playing time, but he's hit his way into the playing time this season. And he got him. Fastball surprised him.
Well, fastball away surprise. The first 2 pitches were in. Might have been looking inside again.
Well, Perez is strikeout victim number 10 for John Gray. 4th 10 strikeout game. Has not had one since June 5th at San Diego. This is a pitcher that in his last 3 starts had given up 16 earned runs in 12 innings. Well, had not gone longer than 4 1/3.
I will bet he just couldn't get that slider over for strikes or get it close enough to get swings. It was all fastball. That's the only way this guy's going to give up runs, is if he can't throw anything else over the plate.
Missed inside on Carter. Carter could turn it around. One swing of the bat could give the Brewers the lead here in the 6th. Chad Qualls loosening in the Rockies bullpen. Another one inside. Carter unable to check it. Chris has homered in back-to-back games, and last night on the Powerball home run count, number 30 of Chad Bettis.
Doesn't pull many. He pulled that one into the second deck.
Carter's got great power to the opposite field as well. Two balls and a strike.
Still throwing his slider at 91. Likes the ball away from him. The red zone.
Now that's from the pitcher's perspective. So middle and away. Most of his home runs, all but 5, coming in those hot zones. Who had one to hit, couldn't quite get to it at 95 miles an hour. And it's 2-2 on Carter. John Gray with his strikeout of Chris Carter back in the 4th inning surpassed Jhoulys Chacín for a single season Rockies rookie record for strikeouts. Chacín set that record in 2010. Held up for 6 seasons.
And this is the kind of guy that can have success at Coors Field. He doesn't rely on that big breaking pitch. Power pitcher, good slider.
2-2 to Carter. Way inside.
Pitchers don't have time to hang with him throwing them.
Well, this could be a big pitch right here. Full count, 2 on. There is 1 out in the inning. Brewers have the tying run at first in Braun. And Carter trying to do some damage. A walk here would certainly make things interesting, make a tough decision for Walt Weiss with Neuenhuis on deck. Carter's got bigger plans. Full count, 1 away. And it's inside, ball 4. Gray miss, second walk of the inning. Just like that, the Brewers have him loaded in the 6th inning. And here comes Steve Foster, the pitching coach. Stuff still looks like it's good for Gray. But the Brewers, now they're getting 3rd time through the batting order, starting to lay off that inside fastball and that cut fastball he's throwing down and away. There was a stretch there for Gray. He had 5 consecutive strikeouts and it struck out 6 of 8. They're all loaded up for Kurt Neuenhuis. Brewers down 2, tying run at 2nd in Braun, who runs well. Rockies have good throwing arms, all 3 outfield spots. Neuenhuis got under it. Fly ball to left, shallow. Won't be deep enough for Jeanette to score.
And it had a good one to hit too.
That's a big out for Gray.
It was down in the zone, a little bit away from him, and just got under it. Got good wood on it, but popped it up. That's a mistake right there that Gray got away with. You can see good follow through. It's a good swing by Neuenhuis, just a little bit underneath of it.
And those burn you up.
Yeah.
So 2 outs now. And it'll be up to Keon Broxton. Rockies got a run in the top of this inning on a John Gray double. The pitcher doubled into right center. Broxton's had a tough time with Gray tonight. 2 strikeouts. '24-year-old first-round draft pick, 3rd overall in the 13 draft. John Gray put it right by him. 0-2 the count on Broxton.
Yeah, pitch up in the zone. It's awfully difficult to square up when it's up there, belt and above. Even when it's down in the middle, it looks so good because your eyes are close to it, but tough to hit.
Now Gray in the driver's seat. Broxton's looking for a mistake. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch just missed. 96, one of his best fastballs of the game. He was reaching back for a little extra on that one.
Yeah, good take, didn't miss by much though.
Two now. Well, the pressure tightens up for Gray. If he misses here, he goes 3-2. That'll give the runners a head start. He's been reaching down deep. His best fastballs of the game coming in this inning. 2-2, 2 outs. Gray against Broxton with the Brewers down a pair. And he lays off. Tried to get him to chase.
Yeah, good job.
Now it's 3-2. Well, you can see the wheels turning for both hitter and pitcher. Figure a good slider would get him, Rock, but it's risky.
Question is he going to be able to throw it for strikes, right?
All 3 runners will start with the pitch. Full count, 2 outs. And Broxton gets under one. Fly ball to right. Came with the heat, and Gray is out of the inning. Brewers strand, the bases loaded, and Gray will exit with a 4-2 lead. Trail 4-2 as we go to the 7th inning. Hey, the 2016-17 Milwaukee Bucks schedule has been released. And with a half a season ticket package, you're guaranteed a ticket to all of the top matchups, including opening night on October 26th, games against the world champion Cavaliers, the Golden State Warriors, the Chicago Bulls. You can visit foxsportswisconsin.com, click on the upcoming events tab for details. Say hello to our buddy Jason Kidd and Joe Prunty, coaching staff with the Bucks. Wish them the best this year.
How they looking?
I don't know. I haven't.
We should probably ask
Telly,
Telly, right?
Telly would know.
Is Telly on?
Is Telly working tonight?
I'm here.
There he is.
How they looking, Telly? The Bucks.
Not bad. I mean, if the guys take strides that they think they will, I mean, guys like Jabari and Giannis, I mean, these two guys can be all-stars, and Chris Middleton. I mean, the future does look bright with the Bucks, but I mean, it all comes down to if they can stay healthy, of course.
Give us a little intel on the Jason Terry signing, Telly.
I think that was a move just to bring a veteran in to police all those underage guys.
Well put. I thought that was your job, Telly.
On and off the court, right?
Well below my pay grade.
That's what Telly does for our broadcast crew. Brent Suter, his Miller Park debut here tonight.
And made his start in Seattle. Actually looked pretty good. Not a hard thrower. Really works quickly. And making an appearance out of the bullpen. The lone left-hander out of that Brewers pen.
The Harvard grad, Brent Suter. In the air to left. Braun coming in. And Dahl is retired. Now this will be a good matchup for Suter. Right away he'll face the National League home run and RBI leader. Suter pitches under the radar, as they say.
Tops out at about 86 miles an hour. He'll throw the kitchen sink at it. He's got about everything. Changeup, curveball, slider. Fastball with two-seamer and four-seamer. Works at warp speed.
Which is all part of the plan with Brent Suter. He's got Arenado out in front. Out of play. Suter was really pitching well at AAA Colorado Springs to earn his call up. He made that start against the Mariners last week.
Split time between the starting rotation and the bullpen.
26 games, 15 of those were starts. Actually saved 2 games as well for Colorado Springs at a 3.5 earned run average. One thing you like about his statistics down in AAA, he kept his walks down. As Arenado lines one down the left field line, that is a foul ball.
Yeah, doubled up inside. Not a good idea to Arenado when you're throwing 84 miles an hour. He got the first one by him, not the second one. Just does such a good job keeping the hands tight to the body on the fastball in. Check it out. Watch how close. Look at that head. Unbelievable. That's about as good as it gets.
1-2 the count. And breaks his bat. Little flare is going to fall. A base hit. So Arenado on with his 3rd hit of the game. And he is on a tear right now. He had 2 homers and 6 RBIs against the Cubs on Sunday.
And watch the head go down. See the body's out in front, but the hands stay back. Still give him an opportunity. Let's go with that top hand just to keep the bat in the zone a little bit longer. Now you hold on to that bat, you know the body's going to flip that bat over. Kind of like a little loop in the swing. You're probably going to miss it. Let go of the top hand. It keeps it on that same plane. That's why he was able to get the base hit.
His 3rd hit of the night, had 2 last night. Arenado is now 9 for his last 12 at the plate. He had been mired in a 3 for 30 slump prior to this hot streak. Carlos Gonzalez in a 1-1 count. He is 0 for 3. 0 for 7 in the series. Tall left-hander Brent Suter, 6'5". In the air to left, Braun coming in. And he's able to make the catch. That one was just dying. 2 gone in the inning. Arenado retreats.
Hey, tonight's time of the game, we're at Poorhouse Bar and Grill in Lakewood in northeast Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
2 outs for Suter. And here's Ryan Rayburn with Arenado at first. On the ground, VR lays out. Ball jumps out of his glove. And that'll be an infield hit for Rayburn. Well, if he comes up with it cleanly, he's got an out at second to end the inning.
And it came down hard on the dive. That's what kind of jostled the ball down. Kind of overran a little bit. Thought he was going to have to stretch out. Dove a little bit too far. Handcuffed him. That's why he wasn't able to keep the baseball in the glove.
VR getting to start at short tonight. Arcia gets the night off. Jonathan's been playing third. So 2 men are on for Descalso. Brent Suter is from Cincinnati. I mentioned he played his college ball at Harvard. He's from a high school in Cincinnati that has produced some of the greatest baseball players ever. Moeller High School, home to Hall of Famers Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Larkin. It's where all the Bells went. Buddy, David, and Mike Bell. Buddy the dad, David and Mike the sons. I suppose Gus didn't go there.
Pretty good football school too, isn't it?
I believe it is. Scooter grew up in Cincinnati but left when he was 12 years old. He was in Florida. Nice catch down there. He brought his glove. Well done. Look at that smile on his face.
Made his day. The art of catching a foul ball.
And saving your mother from a wound.
That's worth an extra hour up tomorrow night. Think he's got a curfew though? I don't think so.
Is that a Dale Jr. hat he's sporting right there? The '88 car, Rock? Are you up on your racing game?
No.
Well, that's a great catch. Yeah. You can take a look at it, but give it right back. Good family there. Sister says it's mine now. Man, he is one happy kid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Mama, we saw you ducking. Tell you, know what that tells you? That kid right there, he's gonna grow up to be a good man, trying to protect his mom.
Yeah.
He's got the glove on.
You think he would have caught it if his sister was sitting there?
A great question.
Of course he would. It's all about the baseball.
Full count, 2 outs. Runners go. And ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Rockies. And Derek Johnson, the Brewer pitching coach, is on his way out. Brewers drafted Suter. back in 2012. Give this guy a lot of credit. A 31st round draft pick, and he's made it to the big leagues.
Yeah. And he's been with the Brewers since day one.
Well, Nick Hundley up there with the bases full. Brewers stranded, the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. And there's a liner. Jeanette right there makes a catch. Out of the inning. Hundley hit it on the nose, but Suter has his first Miller Park inning in the books.
Robin Yount, flash bulbs popping all over the place. The 0-1 pitch. Swings and out. A base hit into right center. He's got it. 3,000 for Robin.
Well, maybe the most iconic moment in our Art of Hitting theme broadcast to bring up. The 3,000th hit by Robin Yount, that great call, the legendary call of Bob Uecker. And one of those moments you'll never forget if you were around Milwaukee during that time, maybe at the ballpark if you're lucky enough to see that one.
Haven't heard it on the radio. Nah, back at home. That game wasn't on television, was it?
Not sure about that, partner. All-time hits leader.
It wasn't.
You got Vaughn, you got Gantner, Cecil Cooper as we move up the list, 1815, and then Molitor had 1,815 with the Brewers as well, and then Robin Yount, 3,142. That will not be broken.
Yeah, that wasn't a question, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know. The way you kind of ended on a high note, I wasn't sure.
Well,
I was getting ready for that little vignette that our producer Brent Reeland put together.
yeah, I wasn't told about it, so kept talking.
Jake McGee's the new pitcher. Maldonado a slow roller, and Descalso makes a play for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Ben Paulson enters the game at first.
Had 2 hits that Maldonado may have had he been able to run a little bit quicker. As Jake McGee takes over here in the 7th inning, 46th appearance. A 5.06 ERA, and they got 3 left-handers down in the bullpen. They got Logan, Russin, and McGee, and 5 right-handers, so 8 down in the bullpen.
Orlando Arcia pinch hitting. Gets the night off from the starting lineup, but getting an at-bat. Need something good to happen here. Arcia has been struggling at the plate.
Pressing a little bit. I mean, the only way you can relax out there in the field, his defense has been pretty good, but still grinding away because the hits haven't been coming. Starting to expand the zone a little bit. And that is why Craig Counsell gave him tonight off.
Arcia is 0 for his last 12. 2 for his last 34. Up there in a 2-1 count. Down and in, 3-1. Jake McGee, the former Tampa Bay Ray. And a swing and a miss. Full count now to Arcia. McGee was very good for Tampa Bay during their years when they were in contention, especially 2013 when they made it to the postseason. Throwing primarily fastballs. Boy, that's well hit. That's going to get into the gap. Arcia with an extra base hit. And racing around second, will stop there with a double, and he needed to see that one.
Well, maybe that'll get him going, and not only does he get the double, but stayed on it and drove it in the gap in right center. Little smile on his face, take a little pressure off. That fastball outer half, and a nice easy swing by Orlando, and about as good as it gets. Not over swinging, and jumps off his bat into the gap. Good for him.
Snaps it 0 for 12 at the plate. Yeah, all smiles. Pinch hit double. And with the tying run coming up in VR, Walt Weiss is on his way out, and I think he's going to make a change. So Weiss will go to his bullpen. McGee faces 2 batters. And out he goes. We'll take a break. Pitching change at Miller Park. Another lefty coming in. Get you caught up here. Our game summary: Brewers Rockies. It was Martin Maldonado. He narrowly missed a 3-run homer by a foot or so. Did get an RBI double out of it. Nolan Arenado with a 3-run home run that gave the Rockies the lead in the third. All the Nados are having success tonight. And how about John Gray, the Rockies pitcher? Struck out 10, drove in a run with that double to make it 4-2. And 6 innings. 4 hits, 10 Ks. Took over as the Rockies rookie franchise record holder for strikeouts in a season. And that gets you caught up. It's 4-2, bottom of the 7th. Arcia has doubled in a pinch hit appearance. And Walt Weiss goes lefty for lefty here. McGee out, Logan in.
Yeah, tried to get through the inning with McGee, but now brings in his best left-hander. You saw those opponent batting averages. Not much going on against Logan this year. Good earned run average. And then with the top of the order coming up, he wants to bring him in. Not often you see a pitching change, lefty for a lefty.
Gives you an idea of the confidence level that Weiss has in Jake McGee. As that one's turned around, is it going to stay fair? VR down the line. It is a foul ball. So close. Almost a tie game.
That tried to come inside, and that time VR just gets out in front a little bit. Hooks foul as it gets out there. And gave it a good ride.
VR, the switch hitter. Right-handed is his natural side. Has more power as a right-handed batter. That ball's whistled in the gap. That's going to get down and go to the fence. Arcia's in. VR to second. It's an RBI double. And the Brewers are within a run.
Well, VR was dialed into that fastball from Boone Logan. Yeah, both of the doubles in this inning have come to the opposite field. You like to see that. Good to see Arcia with a smile on his face. It's been a while. And perhaps Walt Rice rethinking his decision. Fastball down the middle. Look at that approach by Jonathan VR. Hands back. You can see that that front leg, good balance, drives it in that direction, and now a good base runner, good speed with a tying run at second base.
Double number 30 for VR to go along with his 10 homers. And here's Jeanette, lefty on lefty matchup. Jeanette's been swinging the bat well this year against left-handed pitching. A couple of hits tonight. Had a double off John Gray in his first at bat in the first.
It could be Logan's last hitter. Got 3 right-handers coming up. With the right-hander getting loose.
Estevez, the hard thrower. Strike 1 to Jeanette. Now Gray has seen his 2-run lead cut to 1. No balls and a strike on Scooter. Against lefties, Jeanette hitting .268. Does have 2 of his 10 home runs against left-handed pitchers.
They got a big base hit in Seattle to give the Brewers a lead against the left-hander. That was on Sunday afternoon. Brewers' big comeback.
VR takes off. Jeanette foul tips it into the mitt. And VR was called safe, but a foul ball. And they're going to send VR back to second.
Yeah, doesn't realize it. And it takes off. Foul ball. It's a foul tip, but hit the dirt, making it a dead ball, so it can't advance. If he catches it clean, he's able to make the throw.
Would have been a strikeout. So VR at second. Another 0-2 coming from Logan. Bounces in. What a block by Hundley.
Yeah, perfectly executed. You see the glove down, just kind of rolling that shoulder over to keep it in front of him. Textbook.
That ball hits the dirt like that with that kind of spin. It bites back toward the hitter. Hundley keeps it in front. Otherwise, VR's at third with 1 out. It's a big play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Logan paying close attention to Jonathan VR.
This is where normally Scooter Gennett is really going to concentrate on going to left field, against left-handed pitching, and they've got him swung way around the infield looking for him to pull it.
Yeah, I don't understand this shift at all.
Right, not with 2 strikes.
Rockies have their infielders set up as if Gennett is to pull here. Both of his hits today have come to the opposite field. Keeping VR close. Oh, wow, Logan backs off again. He's not happy with Nick Hundley back there. You can see he's mumbling at the pitch selection.
They can't get together on what they want to throw, fastball or slider.
See what he decides on. 1 and 2 the count. Ooh, just missed. Fastball.
Yeah, that was a strike. Scooter got a break right there.
Boone Logan had a long look into home plate. Yeah, pitch number 5 right there on the black. That is a big break for Gennett. Oh, he's got a new life. 2 and 2 the count. Tying run at second. The Brewers have scored 1 in the 7th inning. And that one skips away. Gennett goes, unable to check his swing.
Well, they appealed down at third base. Vic Carapazza said he went. Scooter arguing with the wrong guy.
Scooter was called out. Now Craig Counsell wants to come out. Scooter can't believe he was called out. Home plate umpire says wasn't my call.
I didn't call you out. Guy at third called you out.
And maybe Scooter's saying he fouled the pitch. You could just read the lips there. Counsell said, ask him if it was a foul ball. Yeah, ask him if it's a foul ball. And they didn't get the answer they're looking for.
You can't tell in a replay like that. I mean, it's awfully hard to tell. It's all about sound on the foul tip. Looks like he missed it. But again, it's hard to tell. And keep in mind, I mean, the ball hit the dirt and then the chest protector.
Well, Gennett strikes out for the second out. They're going to intentionally walk Braun. So Braun will reach. Walt Weiss taking the risk, putting the go-ahead run on, and is going to take his chances with Hernan Perez.
Not a bad hitter to have coming to the plate. Although he is hitless, and you're very going to see a pitching change.
I feel like Walt Weiss is taking the full Tony La Russa perspective on late inning matchups. Another pitching change.
Going to 7th inning.
Logan is coming out. Third pitcher of the inning is coming in.
as a hitter throughout the entire second half on Thursday against the Cubs. The role is Chapman. This is one of the best at-bats I've seen in a long, long time. Now, you got Chapman throwing over 100 miles an hour. He's throwing fastballs and sliders. It's a 12-pitch at-bat. Now, you very rarely see any contact on Chapman, let alone giving up hits. But on pitch number 12, he throws a slider. This is a great at-bat. Just the way he's just battling up there at the plate. Fastballs in, fastballs away, and finally gets a slider and able to hit it hard into left field. Here's a pitch right there coming up. The slider, and Perez is going to line it into left field. That's just a good at-bat by Hernan Perez, showing how good he is at covering all aspects of the plate and a lot of different speeds.
Well, that's one for the all-time video vault for Hernan Perez. Whenever he's struggling, he can go look at that. He's up in a big spot here. Rockies bring their hard-throwing reliever. Just called him back up. Estevez on the mound. Spent a little time as their closer, and then blew 5 saves. They sent him back to AAA. He was only there for a few days. Called him right back to the big leagues. Big strikeout pitcher, but he does walk a lot. Brewers have 2 on, 2 out, down a run. VR is driven in a run in this 7th inning. Well, I'm not sure what it is, but the Hundley pitcher connection have grinded this game to a halt as Perez lines one foul. Look out up there.
Hey, guys stepping off. They're worried about the base runners, which they should. It's just a matter of pitch selection right now. Guys unsure about what they want to throw. They can't get together with the catcher. That's when mistakes happen. That's what the Brewers are hoping for.
A lot of times that's when you see defensive mistakes happen. No balls and a strike. 0-2 the count. 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, getting it up there pretty good.
This is the future closer of the Rockies. They were hoping he'd take over that role without fail this year. Wasn't the case. And Perez, that's fair. Down in the corner it goes. VR is in. Racing around third. He's Braun. He'll try to score. The throw, the slide is safe. And the Brewers lead. Hernan Perez delivers in the clutch.
Well, just like he did against Aroldis Chapman. Handling big velocity. This one tucked inside the third base or the first baseline. And the speed of Ryan Braun. That's the danger right there, partner, of walking the go-ahead run on base. Walt Weiss did it. And Perez makes him pay on a pitch away. Just serves it down that line and able to get it all the way down in the corner. And the Brewers now have a 5-4 lead. Wow.
Triple, 2 RBIs. Perez delivers in a big way, and the move by Weiss backfires.
A lot of them have backfired. Walking Ryan Braun. The go-ahead run, putting him on base. A lot of managers not going to do that.
5-4 Brewers. Hernan Perez with just another brilliant at-bat.
You talk about a guy throwing 99 miles an hour, just sticks the bat out there, and he provides the power for you. Just make good contact. And once again, a lot of that indecision, right? I mean, not getting together on what they want to throw. Guys stepping off. He made a mistake on a 0-2 pitch. Not so sure what kind of a mistake it was. What a bad pitch. Just a good piece of hitting by Perez.
Runner at third, 2 outs, and Carter takes it inside, ball 3. Got to figure a young pitcher rattled a little bit. A strike away from getting out of the inning with the lead. Walt Weiss trying to play matchup, and Perez made him pay. That's a called strike. 3-2. What an inning for the Brewers. 3 runs in the 7th. Arcia doubled with 1 out. RBI double by VR. Braun intentionally walked, and Perez delivers with 2. Up the middle. Shift is on, and the inning is over. But Hernan Perez, first that big hit off Chapman. This one off Estevez. All set up by Arcia and VR. And the Brewers now lead 5-4, a 3-run 7th. We go to the 8th. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. What a moment right there. 2-strike hitting Hernan Perez. He drives in 2 with a triple and gives the Brewers the lead. Caps off a 3-run 7th. Estevez gives up the big hit. Now the game is turned. The Brewers in the lead, and now they'll go to their late inning relief. Carlos Torres emerging as the setup man tonight.
Yeah, pitched last night against the Rockies in a 3-up, 3-down inning. Has made 4 straight perfect appearances. That includes 4 strikeouts. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts for Torres in his last 4 times out.
Well, you wonder if Tyler Thornburg is available tonight. He's pitched in back-to-back games through 2 innings on Sunday. Got the save last night, and judging by that, with Thornburg with the sweater on and Knebel starting to get loose down there, you figure Corey would have the 9th. First things first, though, Torres trying to get to the 9th inning with the Brewers still in the lead.
Yeah, the thing that tips you off is Torres in this inning and not Corey Knebel.
Craig Counsell saw his team with a late comeback, a 9th inning rally in Seattle. Broken bat, little flare right to Perez for out number 1. Adames is retired, 1 away in the 8th inning.
Torres has got a lot of mileage out of that cut fastball this year. He's been outstanding. He has been used a lot and has been very dependable. Just about every day he'll take the baseball. What a great pickup that was right before the season.
Yeah, he was released by the Braves, signed right before the year. Matter of fact, the first appearance he made was on opening day. First time he'd been around his teammates, first time he pitched for his team was opening day of the regular season. He's been fantastic. Paulson's first at bat came in on the double switch last inning. Two balls and a strike. Another broken bat and a base hit just out of the reach of VR. Paulson able to muscle one into center field. And the tying run is on.
Hey, plan on being at the ballpark early on Saturday as the Brewers take on the Pirates. And the first 10,000 fans 21 or older will get a Brewers beach towel, courtesy of Miller Lite. Plus, there's a free post-game concert that night from country music star Kip Moore. Great seats are still available at Brewers.com. There you go, right here.
This is the towel here?
That's all you got to say right there.
Bring the beer?
Nothing else.
Or bring the glove.
That's why you have to be 21 or older.
I see.
This is not a towel you bring to school.
All ages can use the glove. I got my glove on just in case, by the way.
Was that on the card?
The glove or the... No, this is an ad lib on my part.
Oh, I got you.
Mostly because I'm feeling a foul ball coming up.
There you go,
soon.
Renee.
Like this kid. He had his glove and he's got a foul ball. His sister wants to take another look at it. Let's do a selfie. Blackman drops a bunt down foul.
The towel or the glove? I'm not sure where the glove fit in.
No, the glove's mine.
Yeah, I get it.
I was just wearing the glove. That was incidental contact. Now you got a glove too. Now we all got gloves.
Catcher's mitts, spiders. Check it out. Isn't that beautiful?
Tonight's our art of hitting night, but we've turned defense.
We're up by a run. We need defense.
Pitching and defense now. Okay.
Nothing like it.
Stand by. Smells good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ball and a strike. Tough guy to double up here, Blackman. He runs well. And a swing and a foul tip. 1-2 the count.
We actually saw our buddy Ed out from Spider's gloves tonight.
Great company.
Lives in your neck of the woods.
Cool gloves. Yeah, out there.
High country.
We don't let your kind out in our part of the.
No, I know it.
Of Wisconsin.
I know it.
We'll see about getting you a visitor's badge.
See, now I understand why I've never been invited to your house. We're not allowed.
It's not true, folks. Don't believe him. Actually, it is true. He's never been invited, but he's been to my house. There's a difference. Invitations go to the wife. The bill is optional.
All right.
1-2. And Blackman's hanging tough. Charlie Blackman's making a strong case for the best beard in the big leagues. He's got some pretty good competition from Blaine Boyer. I think Boyer's actually a little conscientious about his beard, though. Blackman just seems to have completely given up. I mean, it's just everywhere.
No grooming whatsoever.
Well, Boyer's got it tightened down a little bit. Blackman is going for that mountain look.
It's pretty thick, isn't it?
I mean, that's a pretty well manscaped beard right there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
The other one's not at all. A swing and a miss. Torres strikes him out. Beard and all, Blackman is gone. 2 outs in the inning.
That's a nice curveball right there from Carlos Torres. Second time Blackman's been struck out on a curveball. Mariña's got him in the 6th, and now Torres gets him in the 8th. 2 strike curveballs out of the zone. And a good block by Maldonado.
7-pitch battle. Torres wins it. Out number 2. Here's David Dahl. This is the guy to get. Arenado is on deck. Certainly don't want to see him in a spot like this. The speedy Dahl at the plate. Started in center field and hit leadoff yesterday. With Blackman coming back tonight, Walt Weiss moved him to left. He hit second. He can fly.
And he got good speed at first base too. Paulson has decent speed. Brewers outfield relatively deep except for Keon Broxton.
These infielders know if they get a ground ball, they've got to hustle it over to first quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 2 outs in the inning. Brewers took the lead in the bottom of the 7th. And a chopper foul, 1-2 the count. Big hit in this game just a moment ago. Hernan Perez with a 2 RBI triple
On an 0-2 pitch. It's
like
not even on the plate. It wasn't even a strike.
Looked like a pepper swing by Perez.
Did a good job getting on top of it.
Ground ball. Got to hurry it up. Perez fires to first and just in time. Man, can he run? Wow, that was close. Perez with a strong throwing arm. They're going to take a look at this play here. So let's hold it right here.
And Perez doing a good job waiting back, getting in position to throw, getting something behind it, and pretty close at first. This will be the angle right here. Yep, got him.
Got him. Inning over. Strike up the band. 5-4. Brewers lead it. We go to the bottom of the 8th at Miller Park.
Largely responsible for that 5-4 Brewer lead. He had the 2 RBI triple back in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 down. Our pitcher is so good, he's going to break down hitting right now. Take us through
it's
that.
It's a hitter's night. We got to do it.
I know it.
I'll tell you what, you got to like the way he's approaching. First gets a fastball inside part of plate, fouls it off. Fastball, strike, swings right through it. Comes up with a pitch on the outer half of the corner. Puts it into right field, hits the triple, scores 2 runs. Brewers take the lead.
Professional hitting by Hernan Perez, and what a season he is having. We'll break it all down. Brewers Live postgame here from Craig Counsell and the crew. And don't forget our final pitch powered by Evan Rude. You can look for it on our Fox Sports Wisconsin Facebook page. We'll break down this series and get you set for Pittsburgh coming to town this weekend.
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Matt Caracidi on the mound for Colorado. 5-4. Brewers have the lead. As we play in the bottom of the 8th, Kirk Neuenhuis leads off against the new Rockies pitcher.
Yeah, he got called up on August 12th.
What was your analysis of Jerry Augustine's analysis?
It's hard to argue with anything he said, actually. You know what I like about Perez? I mean, the fact that, you know, he shortens up and he got top down. He almost like a karate chop with that bat going down, just exaggerating, trying to get on top of that pitch, and lined it right down that first baseline. And you see Ryan Braun doing that quite a bit. But I'll tell you, Perez, on a pitch that was borderline on the corner, able to hit it that hard, that's a good piece of hitting.
Looked like a tennis backhand, you know, a little drop shot.
Chopping it right down, and that's the only way you get on top of a ball like that. You know, you take a normal swing, you probably miss it or you pop it up. The art of hitting.
That's been our theme tonight. It's been fun to break these hitters down. Rock with his expert eye. It's always fun to listen to Rock talk hitting.
Do as I say, not as I did. My buddy Rob Deere, that was his motto. Good hitting coach in his own right.
Well, Domingo Santana got a bat in his hands. He's thinking about an at-bat. Brewers lead 5-4, 8th inning. Neuenhuis takes a ball high. Draws the walk. Back to the swing, Rock.
Check it out. I mean, he's way out in front, but watch the hands stay back. The hands stay back. The pitch is borderline on the corner. And watch the way that bat goes down in that angle. And that's the only way he's able to get on top of it. Just kind of just serving it out there. It's not a big hack. I mean, that's just what you call an emergency swing. He's going to make contact way back here in the zone. Maybe not that far, but pretty close. I mean, he picks that one right out of the catcher's glove and able to keep it fair. Well done.
Ended up as a triple, 2 RBIs. Brewers went from 4-3 down to 5-4 ahead. Keon Broxton now with a man on to start the inning. Broxton flew out to right with the bases loaded in the 6th. 0 for 3 tonight. Walt Weiss using 3 relievers last inning. Started with McGee. Didn't like what he saw out of McGee. Replaced the left-hander with a left-hander, Boone Logan, who's been one of his best this year. And then he went for the hard-throwing Estevez to try to get Hernan Perez. And it backfired. Intentionally walked Ryan Braun, the go-ahead run. Brewers led early 2-0. Rockies scored 3 with 1 swing of the bat. Nolan Arenado hit a 3rd inning homer to give him a 3-2 lead. Added 1 in the 6th, and then the Brewers just scored 3 to take the lead again. Close play. Neuenhuis is back.
Well, if you think about it, you really can't blame, you know, Walt Weiss for walking Ryan Braun. I mean, he is the one guy in this lineup that you have to avoid in situations like that. But Perez made him pay, walking the go-ahead run on base.
Two and 2 on Broxton.
Some pretty good arms out of that pen. We were talking yesterday that the the big overhand curveball era of pitchers in Colorado pretty much over. They've got some velocity coming out of that pen. Estevez throws hard. This guy we saw tonight starter, Gray, he's got a good arm.
Gray pitched well enough to win the game. 6 innings, 2 runs. He struck out 10. Caracidi deals a 2-2, and Broxton takes a called strike 3. Crowd didn't like that call.
There's your off-speed pitch right there, right on the edge. Change up. Middle borderline, maybe too close to take with 2 strikes.
So here is Maldonado now. Drove in a run with a double in the second. Missed a 3-run home run by a foot.
Missed a home run by a foot, and if he was a little bit faster, he'd have 2 more hits.
That's right. Hundley out to have a chat with his reliever. There's been a lot of back and forth in this game between catcher and Rockies pitchers today. Matt Caracidi. Maldonado down the right field line. That's slicing. Long run, Gonzalez. That is a fair ball. And it bounces out. A ground rule double. Maldonado just inside the line. His second double of the game. And it's second and third with 1 away.
Yeah, just inside that right field line, hits the dirt and bounces out. Let's say the Rockies a run. And you see that pitch down the middle, right at the bottom of the strike zone, and he's able to just barely tuck it down that line, almost hitting the chalk line. Well, the Brewers set up nicely with 1 out. That's second and third. These are some big runs sitting out there.
Maldonado 2 hits. Infield in for Colorado. Domingo Santana will pinch hit for the Brewers in the 9th spot in their order again. Santana just back from the disabled list, and here goes Hundley back to the mound.
Well, they do a lot of tapping of each other, but it doesn't seem to help.
Santana reinstated from the disabled list Friday. 2 stints on the DL, one for a shoulder, the other for an elbow. That's a strike. Skips away from Hundley. Not far enough to score. When Santana returned on Friday in Seattle, it was his first game since June 8th. Santana started the season as the right fielder, opening day starter in right field. Then he quickly became the leadoff hitter for the Brewers. Not your traditional leadoff man, but he runs well and has big power, and he walks a lot. Villar has emerged as the Brewers leadoff hitter for the rest of the season. Big cut by Santana.
He's got very quick hands. He can handle that pitch inside. That was at 96 miles an hour that time. And Brewers need him to get right. They need him in the lineup, particularly going forward into next year. He's a big bat to have out there in right field.
Ball and 2 strikes, second and third with 1 away. And he fouls it back. Santana was one of the big pieces coming from Houston to Milwaukee in the Gomez Fires deal last year. One of the 4. Brett Phillips down in Double-A was the other outfielder, the other position player, and then 2 pitchers. Josh Hader's pitching well in Triple-A. Hauser ended up with Tommy John surgery this season. 1-2 pitch. Down and away. 2-2. Well, the Brewers could use some more runs. Looking ahead to the Rockies' 9th. They'll have Arenado, Gonzalez, and Rayburn coming up. Or rather, Arenado, Gonzalez in the pitcher spot. You'd like to have Arenado hit next inning with more than a 1-run lead.
Right. They got an opportunity. Yeah. Fly ball is going to score another run.
Corey Knebel looks like he'll have a chance at a save. 3-2 count. In the air, center field. That'll be deep enough. Back on at Blackman. He'll make the catch. Coming in is Neuenhuis, and he will score. And Santana delivers.
Oh, baby.
Sacrifice fly and an RBI. A Badger Mutual insurance run. And the Brewers are up 6-4.
That's good at bat for Domingo. Boy, huge run. And with Arenado leading off on a full count. Guys in that dugout realize how big that run is. That's a good day's work.
Sure.
Yeah, woke up there, a couple of men on, hit a fly ball, get an RBI.
And now you're done.
Good day at the ballpark. Good day at work.
Here's VR now. Brewers up 2. Got a runner at second. Strike to VR at 96 miles an hour. Jonathan doubled in a run in the 7th. He scored a run as well. Hit the ball sharply in the 5th. He lined out to left. Hit it right on the nose.
And Caracetti has appeared in 6 games for Colorado. He's given up runs in 5 of those 6 appearances. He has had a rough start to his big league career.
Popped him up. Foul territory. Hundley down the net, makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. But the Brewers get a big run. Domingo Santana, a sac fly, and Milwaukee up 2. Corey Knebel will get his chance to save a game. A big 3-run seventh for the Brewers, and they took the lead on a Perez 2 RBI triple. Brewers now lead by 2. Tonight's broadcast presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Beautiful night, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Corey Knebel trying to close this one out. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Day game tomorrow. Tyler Anderson against Zach Davies. A couple of rookies matching up. Matinee baseball at Miller Park. All right, Rock, Knebel gets a chance. Thornburg is down tonight. A lot of work, so Knebel steps in and a chance to save #1 in his major league career.
Yeah, looking to save it for Brett Suter, who's never won a game in the big league. So this will be a nice little sidebar to this win tonight. And if it comes to fruition, Corey pitched last night, a scoreless inning.
Nolan Arenado leads off for the Rockies with 3 hits tonight, including a 3-run homer. That run Santana drives in the bottom of the 8th, gives Knebel a little breathing room. And he popped him up right up the pipe. Maldonado fires the mask away and makes a catch for the first out.
Boy, there's a break. Well, he was right on it, just got under it. Those are the toughest ones to catch, those ones that are right up in front of you. Don't have to hardly move, but Maldonado handles it easily. Good night for Maldi behind home plate. Not a bad day at the plate either.
2 hits, double and an RBI. Knebel has 24 career minor league saves, including 2 this season at Colorado Springs. He's been in this role in the minors. But this is a new spot for him. Bouncing ball out to Jeanette with the shift on, and Gonzalez is out. How about that? 3 pitches, 2 outs, and the big hitters retired quickly. And the Brewers are an out away from a victory tonight.
Yeah, Carlos Gonzalez 0 for 9 in the series.
It'll come down to Gerardo Parra pinch hitting what is now the pitcher spot. Tyler Thornburg threw 2 innings in Seattle, got a win Sunday, picked up a save last night. So he's not available. Knebel, chance to save his first. Parra takes a strike. This would be quite a comeback for the Brewers. They were down a run. Perez at the plate with 2 strikes and 2 outs before he delivered that 2 RBI triple in the 7th. On the ground, Jeanette ranging over, can't make the play, and a base hit. Parra reaches, and now the Rockies will bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, Knebel's first curveball of the inning. And Parra able to just get it out of the reach of Scooter at second.
Well, Knebel with a man on will face Descalso. Descalso tonight 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Had a line drive out in the 6th inning. 2 gone in the 9th. And a strike from Knebel. He's pouring them in right now. 6 pitches, all strikes. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Brent Suter stands to win for the first time in the big leagues. Knebel deals. Runner goes. Missed outside the first ball that Knebel has thrown. Hara advances to second base. Defensive indifference on that. No steal. But a base hit could make it a one-run game. Here's a 1-2. Another one just missed. Flirting with the edge is Knebel.
Yeah, a little bit too far on that one. Yeah, it was a little bit further off.
2-2. He had him 0-2. Let's see what he does now. He's got the fastball humming along at 96. And a breaking ball, and Descalso takes it. Full count now. That's a pretty good breaking ball. Put it in a spot where you see a lot of guys swing and miss at that one.
Yeah, that was a good take. Now you figure a fastball's coming. And you figure Descalso knows it.
He represents the tying run. Payoff pitch. And he lost him. All four had him 0-2. And now the Rockies will bring the go-ahead run to the plate. And Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, is on his way out.
I tell you, that last pitch didn't miss by much. But the low strike really hasn't been called a whole lot tonight.
Knebel's first 7 pitches of this inning were all strikes. And then 4 consecutive balls.
That 27th out is a tough one to get, especially when you're not used to being the closer.
Well, if you've been with us all night, we're talking about the art of hitting tonight. One thing you remember about Nick Hundley, the next hitter, is the fact that he has swung early in the count. He's been a first pitch swinger. He drove a double into right center in the 4th inning on the first pitch. Lined out to second base in the 7th inning with the bases loaded. He hit a bullet right to Jeanette. He's 1 for 4, but he's made good contact tonight. Tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate. 2 outs in the 9th. And Hundley on the first pitch. A bouncer to third. Perez to second. And out at second. The ball game is over. Corey Knebel with his first career save. Brent Suter with his first major league win. And the Brewers with a comeback tonight. 6-4 the final score. Hernan Perez with the 2 RBI triple. And what a comeback tonight.
How about that? I mean, 2 of the last 3 games, the Brewers have been able to jump off the mat and come back to win. 3 runs down in the 9th against Seattle, down by a couple of tonight late in the game. And we talked about hitting all night, but it really was the pitching. Pitching doing a really good job against a good Rockies club. Congratulations to Brent Suter.
And to Corey Knebel. They'll never forget this night. Good job tonight, Rock. Great work on the hitting.
That was fun.
And let's check in with Craig Cashon. He's standing by with Jerry Augustine. It's time for Brewers Live. Take it away, guys.
Okay, BA, thanks very much. Should be a fun post game to talk about with some timely hitting and some outstanding pitching. Boy, this club digging deep for their 3rd straight win. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the crew and get you set for the finale of this series coming up next. Brewers Live.